You know how important it
to
is to
start your
start
day. Never underestimate. Ayaw yun na i-underestimate ninyo ang kaimportante sa pagsugod sa inyong mga adlaw or pagsugod sa maski unsa nga butang. There's always a right way to start things and the wrong way to start things. And one of the best ways to start things is with good vibrations, right? And that's what we're here for, to provide you with the good vibes, right? Nga dili ta maghunahuna og mga ngilad, dili ta mamina og mga ngilad nga balita. Kaya daghang kayog mga ngilad nga balita. There's always good news and bad news, right? And the problem is if you open your cell phone or maybe even the newspapers, kadaghanan na manggawas na kay ngilad yun nga balita. That's why you have to listen to nothing but good vibrations. And I think we can provide it here on Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice, and right across me we have...
Hello everyone, I'm Raj Sangabi.
What's your name again, sir?
Raj Sangabi.
Raj. Maing buntag ni Raj. Can you hear yourself?
Yes, I can hear myself, Jiggy Juice.
Nothing is more beautiful than the sound of your own voice, right?
But your voice is more beautiful than mine, I'll say that.
How you doing? How's everything, Raj? And tell me, how does somebody like you, how old are you? 18 years old?
Yes, I'm 18 years old.
Unsaon man na pagsugod sa iyang mga adlaw?
How does my day start?
Sama sa mga 18 anyos sama kanimo. Unsaon man yung pagsugod sa inyong mga adlaw? How do you make sure that the vibrations are good? Is that important to you that you start your day with good vibrations, or that's not that important to you? How does it work for you?
For me, usually when I wake up in the morning, so that I can get fully energized, I usually like to take a shower just to get that full energy in.
Wait a minute. So you start your day?
Started the day with a shower with music.
Wow. So that's the first order of the day for you? Inigmata nimo maligo na yun ka?
When I want to get the full energy.
Huh?
When I want to get that full energy.
Seriously?
Yes.
Seriously. So that's the first event of your day?
Yeah.
Because I usually start slow, but okay, continue, and then
So like
you start your day by going to the shower and then listening to music. What sort of music do you listen to?
So that I can also, because when you take a shower and if you want to feel that good vibe energy, I listen to something upbeat. Like Tayo Magsayawan by the VST and Company.
Seriously now?
Yes.
Oh my God!
It brings me back to when I was young, when we had those little CDs that my mom and dad would bring.
Oh my God, VST.
VST.
They say that's one of the sort of murag mga pioneer na sila kuno sa Manila sound,
Wow.
Filipino sound. I don't know if you're aware of that. Anyway, so you listen to VST.
VST and Company.
Okay. Do you prefer cold or hot water?
Well, if I want to wake up, I'll take a cold shower, but
Okay.
But if you just want to start off a slow day but still have a good feeling,
Okay.
that's a hot shower.
Okay, and then please continue.
And then so after I take a shower, I get dressed up, and then I'll see if I can get a cup of water, and then
A cup of water.
get good cup of water to
What's a good cup of water?
that one that you pour from the water dispenser.
Seriously,
Make sure it's cold.
so it's just regular.
It's just regular drinking water.
Drinking water, right?
Yeah. Or sometimes if we have it, Swiss Miss.
Swiss Miss, like hot chocolate,
yes,
right?
Swiss Miss hot
with
chocolate.
marshmallows.
Oh yeah, that is
yum.
very good.
Lamia. So mo na siya.
Yes,
and then okay.
And then so I will just get my stuff ready, grab my jacket, and
Okay.
then drive all the way up here to Tops.
Oh wow, really?
Yes.
So that's really typical of you.
Yes.
So no, because I'm curious. Like you just drink water.
Yes,
no,
drink water.
No coffee. No.
I don't drink coffee. Yes.
Okay. So what if unsa man kay buhaton nimo bay kung when you wake up, because we don't wake up in high spirits all the time, right? Sometimes
Yes.
we're down. Sometimes na may expression nga you woke up on the right side of bed.
Yes.
I guess there's the opposite of that. You woke up on the wrong side of bed, right? So that's just a figure of speech, meaning to say, "Nigmata nimo murag bad trip kay ka ba?" for no apparent reason,
Not
right?
feeling today. Not feeling today.
So you're not feeling it. What do you do if you're not feeling it? For example, today, if you weren't feeling it, you weren't in the mood to go to work today, go to 105.1 TMC, what would you have done to make sure that? Would you try to change that sort of feeling, or do you want to just linger on that for a moment and then maybe perhaps just surrender na lang ka sa feeling and just not go to work? How does it work for you? Go ahead.
For me, normally when I like either with school or even with work.
Anything.
Anything to like if I have something important for today
And you're not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it. I'd lay down I would wake up, check my phone, make sure what time is it, and I say, do I really need to go in today?
Okay.
Like I have to do this, and then I have to pair this one, but like it's also important to me. It's just like a constant going back and forth of should I go or what is this important? Yeah, yada like that.
Okay.
And then that's I probably take about 30 minutes of checking my phone, scrolling on TikTok, and then if I'm feeling and then if in those 30 minutes I feel like going today, I just get ready.
So what you do is you try to have like a kind of conversation with yourself, right?
Yes.
And then you try to it looks like you're trying to distract yourself from the feeling of suckiness, the feeling of you don't want to go to work, right?
Yes.
But di ka ganahan, dili ka in the mood mo trabaho, so you sort of like distract yourself by scrolling on TikTok, like you said, diba?
Yes.
And then maybe have a conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
And if it remains the same, if nothing ever changes after 30 minutes, is that it? Does that mean that you succumbed to the emotion, to the feeling?
Yeah, if I decide not to go, I'm just gonna lay here for another 2 hours.
Okay.
And then like just wait until the day is a bit too late, and then just get up, prepare breakfast or brunch at that point.
Okay.
And then
never mind the thing that you're supposed to do today.
Never mind the thing I was supposed to do today. Find other things to keep myself busy.
Okay, what if the thing that you wanted to do, obviously it's not yet like a real professional job, right?
Yes.
What if the thing that you're supposed to do medyo importante, medyo make or break, medyo it is important that you show up for work in the office, or it's important that you show up in school, because if you didn't, then something bad will happen, not just to you, but maybe to your classmates or to your office mates. You know what I mean? What if the thing imong trabaho, imong buhatonon sa adlaw, nga dili ka in the mood, kay nagmata man ka og on the wrong side of bed, what if importante ka is tanan? Do you still decide not to go?
For me, Jiggy Juice, I don't think like if let's say the next day I have something important to do, I think I'd like spend the whole night, the previous night, procrastinating about what's going to happen the next day. So I remember this one test I was one philosophy test I was studying for, and I didn't sleep for 3 days preparing for that test. So I think for something important I have to do, it's either I don't sleep, or I force myself no matter how much I want to sleep in more. I just force myself. And then automatically take a cold shower to wake myself up. And that's just what gets me started for the.
So you force yourself.
Yes, I force myself.
So kung imo ang pugso nimo ang kagalingon to do something, let's just say go to school, right? Are you more effective? Is it going to be like a clumsy bad day overall, or eventually you'll find your footing based on your experience? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you start your day, right, and then you're like marabag diesel engine ba? You know how a diesel engine works, right?
Yes.
It needs time to warm up, right? But let's say a regular fuel engine, it starts and then you don't need to warm it up. If you have a bad day and then trabaho ka or matu ka sa eskwelahan, when you start your day, is it like does it start like a clumsy, like bad, ineffective day for you, or do you immediately find your footing the moment you step into the office, the moment you step into the classroom?
For me, I think it would be more of a 70-30 split.
Okay.
30% clumsy. I wake up. I still instead of having a 30-minute conversation with myself, I'll have about 5 minutes of
a monologue.
I'm gonna have 5 minutes. Okay, you're gonna get up from this bed, and then you're gonna go take a shower. You're gonna get ready.
Oh no!
And then like the devil soul, that's my angel side speaking. The devil side speaking is But like the bed is so comfy. The bed is comfy. The pillow is cold, and then the angel's like, "No, you gotta go. This is school, and if you miss attendance again, you're gonna have deducted points." And I was like, but the bed is so comfy. So
you know what I do. Let me tell you a little secret on what I do.
tell me.
When I wake up in the morning, it's usually depending on Cooper. Cooper is our pet pug, right?
I see.
And
Ooh, I love
I
pugs.
sleep beside him. It's either he wants to walk or I have a cup of coffee. It's always a toss up, right?
Okay.
And you don't want pee and poo all over your house, right? So sometimes if he really has to go because he really makes it known, musulti gani siya nga ganahan siya mo CR na or ganahan na siya magawas because he wants to pee or to poo. He says it in by scratching my face or or barking like this.
Woof woof. Ooh.
Oh, and or just making a sound like a low sound.
Aw.
So that means I'll have to skip my cup of coffee and then go out there into the world, right?
Yeah.
So my problem is I have sinusitis, right? And then when it's cold, so it's important for me to start my day with something warm, something hot, like hot coffee usually. In fact, I just had a cup of coffee earlier today, 2 cups of coffee early in the morning. And I wanna watch videos. I wanna watch maybe like some CNN perhaps or some motivational video or whatever to stimulate my brain. I just want to have a moment, right? And then after the warm liquid has sort of coated my body, I go take a bath. I go get a cold bath actually, and then and then I get dressed and then I brush my teeth and all of that and then I leave. So that's how I start off my day. If I'm not in a good mood, if I'm in a foul mood, right?
All right.
Usually it is when I have sipon. Like because maybe I had a long night.
Yeah.
Maybe I got the virus or whatever, right? So I have extra cups of coffee. You know what I mean? And I make sure I bring my inhaler.
Yeah.
Like this right now, and then I show up for work. So what I usually do is I just go through the motions. You know what I mean? Like even though you're not in a good mood, morgi sapot ka or maybe bad mood ka, I just go through the motions. I just do what I do, and then eventually, maybe like 99% of the time, when I go through the motions, eventually I get back on my groove. I get my groove back.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I get my groove. I just go through the motions because it's important sometimes because kana manggong trabaho, especially if you've been doing the thing for such a long time, moram na siya muscle memory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in the same way nga maglibog imo ang lawas imong utok. Kung mo smile ka, unya pag human, you're in a bad mood, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually weird. That's actually a weird mechanism, and you look like a mura kag buang tanaw na.
Yeah.
Because I also do that sometimes. If I'm in a bad mood, or if I know that there's like a trigger that'll make me angry or in a bad mood, I try to smile. It's because it's difficult to be angry.
Yeah, I've heard of that before. Like when you smile for 30, like you're in a bad mood, you're sad, you smile for 30 seconds, all of a sudden you feel a bit better.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a bit better.
Just a little bit better, right?
It's not the best, but you have the feeling again.
Yeah. So mura mo gunag muscle memory kay smile nimo, maybe the part of your brain that says be happy is, hey, are we supposed to be happy? You know what I mean? He's smiling.
Yeah, he's smiling.
Be happy. So he's not smiling, right? So it's just weird. It's just weird how we have so little control of our brains, right? Dili ta maka-control unsa iyang ihuna-huna.
Yeah.
Our brain is like a stream, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even when, like for example, right now, there's always something in my mind, right? It's almost close to impossible unless you've already learned the ways of meditation to be able to stop the stream of thoughts in your mind, right? It's crazy. So mo na siya nga, I just go through the motions and hopefully I can override my brain, right?
Yeah.
And playing good music helps too, right?
Yeah.
Playing good vibrations. You don't have to listen to the lyrics. It's not like a lyrical thing.
It can just be something happy.
Yeah, it can be just something happy, or it can also be like a song that has as good words, right? Like something that'll make you feel good.
Like what you mentioned yesterday. I had no idea what the lyrics of Juan Paasa, but it sounded so good.
The Iti song?
Iti song.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Like, it gives you the good vibe, but then the lyrics don't have to matter because you just feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how we consume music sometimes, right? We just listen to the vibrations of the song.
vibrations.
Like this one, for example. Ooh, who can listen to this song and not feel good? I mean, nobody. You just feel automatically good.
Going international, Japanese cadet, making waves when tsunami from Nagoya going back. Dancing on my name, I'm ready, you are not a threat. Where big puppets playing games, like you fucking with a very good squad, so me like a kid shit and roller. Hip hop heavyweight, call me Yokozuna. You can never school me, I got no diploma, but I got papers in my pocket, shopping in Shibuya. I got no more hungry days, like you didn't want to pay.
Today is
got no days, tomorrow got no race, looking sharper than the kind of blade. Talk to drifting out of space, fresher than a basic game. Haters get more cocky face.
I'm not sure I want to hear that.
Yeah.
We're fresh like gold, baby like gold. Never get surprised 'cause we already knew. We're fresh like gold, baby like gold. Never get surprised 'cause we already knew. This right here a ball out. You can say it call out. Now that we go all out. How you like to roll out? Say the game changing. I say it's the same thing. Nothing whack, silly raps, a bunch of changelings. It's another killer type hit from the killer type beats. Here's some Japanese.
Just funny, man. With all of
Fresh like a mom, blessed by the God. I'm all about
our access to everything and with the available technology, you can actually make a living and make a lot of money by just duping people online, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, I get so many like fake emails, man, like fake messages from Instagram, and you know, like AI or like fake accounts, man.
Yeah.
And if you just work hard, you'll be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Duping people.
Keep the grind on.
Yeah. Grabe ko kaya sa nimo to, no? Like, because I receive like at least like 2-3 fake Instagram accounts, man.
Wow.
You can tell it's fake because
Yeah.
the faces are like, yeah.
They look AI generated or
Yeah.
like someone.
So weird. I just not weird. It's just bro, ito ka rin mong tugtaw pa. 105.1 TMC, ang pinakasubuan ng radio station sa Tibok Kalibutan. Don't forget, our YouTube is up and running. It's Tops Media Center.
On YouTube, you can join us in our conversation with me. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And I'm Raj Sangabi.
And top of the morning sa Kanatong Tanan. How's everybody feeling? Are you guys feeling it? We're about to feel it. And we already did feel it, right? We felt already the good vibes, right?
Yes, we did. We were feeling alive today.
Yeah. It's just so sad, man, that sometimes when you open your cell phone and the news is bad, you can't control that too, right? You
Yeah.
can't have like a world that's all good news all the time, right? That's also impossible. So murag lisod jud kayo nga in the same way that you can't control your mind and control its thoughts, you can also not control the feeds, right? Although you can curate it, but still you don't know, if especially if you're subscribing to, let's say, a news websites, right? And then what pops up is like, the world is ending.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, how am I supposed to feel good, right? So sometimes you just want to go back to sleep. Tugta. You know the expression?
Yeah.
Baliktog.
Baliktog.
Ernest Hope Tinambakan on 105.1 TMC, the most Cebu music.
Tugta. Uy, mo katog di ay mata na mo eh. It's just a song, Naunsa. Napa mo'y trabaho. Kaya mo kung December good, murag lazy month kina for a lot of people, sa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nagyo industry, including the media industry, nga the more vacationy, the more holiday-ish the season is, the more we should work and perform. Kana for example, kaning most people are in a jolly mood, and most people go to the mall. For example, kanang the service industry, kanang mall, pinaka-busy yun na nila kanang mga kanang mga holidays. So kung katrabaho ka sa retail, because I know a lot of friends nga nasa retail, na yung mga tindahan sila, nasa lay daghang mga negosyo sa mga mall, unya, ikapasko, puwertig yun na nilang busy ha.
Oof.
Kapoy kay na sila sa tanan. So, nagyo industriya nga murag way pahuway during the holidays. Kita, ang most of the people, not kita, because we're also in the service industry, but ubang tao kanang manglarga na, di ba? Mamakasyon na, right? Pero ang mall, mga mall owners, mga mall store owners, purti na nilang bisiya ka ng mga restaurant diri. Purti na namang bisiya diri sa tops kay daghan man kayong manglaag, di ba? And then people have disposable income. Maybe they got their bonuses, their 13th month pay. Mga tawa man mo, kadawat. Mga tawa sila, Raj. O pa sila kadawat sila. Nakadawat mo sa inyong 13th month? Inyong mga bonus diya? Or bono ang inyong nadawatan? Bono, hala. Anyway, so kapoy kayo na sila tanan, kapoy kayo ng service industry. Kaya kita sa media, for example, during the pandemic, I was still on the air,
Wow.
And most people were like in their homes, right? And we were like the provider of we were like a window of what's happening in the city, because that's our job. That's media's job to be able to relay to the people, the locality, the Cebuanos, the Sugbuanon, the mga listeners, mga Bisaya nga unsay naitabo sa siyudad sa Sugbo. In fact, I've got some information right now that might be helpful to all of us here today.
All right, let's hear it.
What's today? What date is today?
The date today is the 18th of December on a Wednesday.
Mo na pinaka-importante gid sa ang date. Sometimes we I don't even know what day it is sometimes. Anyway, excuse me. Our weather advisory for today, the center of tropical depression Kirubin was estimated based on all available data at 205 kilometers east of Tagum City, Davao del Norte, 73.3 degrees north and 127.7 degrees east, with maximum sustained winds of 45 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 55 kilometers. It is moving northeastward at 10 kilometers per hour. It's kind of slow. I hope it's not going to intensify into a tropical depression, a real typhoon, right?
Yeah.
And sa atong traffic report, our friends from Revo are always up and about. A traffic report is heavy traffic along Escario Street, along Vibo Place and Capital Parish Church due to volume of vehicles attending the Misa de Gallo. This was earlier today, so I hope that it's cleared over there. So that's the latest traffic report and weather. Now let's go to the national headlines.
All right.
Let's hit the national headlines so you don't have to read every single one of them, and we'll go to the local headlines from Sunstar Cebu in a moment. So GMA News, Mpox cases in the Philippines now at 52, according to the Department of Health. Mpox.
Oh. I hope it doesn't grow like last time in the pandemic.
Yeah, I know.
I really hope so.
So at least because of the pandemic, we are kind of aware on what to do, right? Because every viral disease, every disease that's contagious, requires the things that we were practicing during the pandemic, right? Like washing of hands and masks, not close to each other, and all that stuff. And I'm kind of glad that I still see people wearing masks in the mall, especially like dakakeng tao, diba, in the mall, especially now in the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Sa moke dakakeng tao, right?
Yeah.
So people are still wearing masks because you don't know, right?
Yeah, you never know what will happen.
Yeah, so it's not about COVID. It's just about any
Yeah, gangs. Yeah, just to be safe.
It could be like just a cough or a cold or fever. You'll never know. So yeah, magnitude 5.2 earthquake hits Hinubaan, Negros Occidental, and the peso dollar exchange rate closed at 58.87 to $1 today. And there's only 80,000 sacks of aging rice stocked in NFA, says executives. According to ABS-CBN, COA flags PhilHealth anew over data management mess resulting in oversubsidy. And Bureau of Customs closes 9 warehouses of smuggled rice in Bukawi. And Marcos inaugurates one-stop service centers for OFWs.
Ooh.
And House OK's bill extending land lease limit of foreign investors to 99 years. Wow. So foreign investors can lease land for 99 years. That's an entire lifetime or more than a lifetime, right? According to Inquirer.net, DTI monitors Noche Buena items to prevent unauthorized price hike. How do you define a Noche Buena item? Like, do you do like the whole Noche Buena?
Yeah, Noche Buena, the dinner.
What does that? What does that even mean? What's Noche Buena? What is that?
For me, Noche Buena is, if I can remember correctly, the dinner before Christmas.
Okay.
The dinner on Christmas Eve.
So what's usually on your Noche Buena table? What do you remember?
Okay, so right now, we just started going back to. We started to learn new things for our Noche Buena. So
Okay.
of course we have the usual holiday ham, but instead of buying a holiday ham, we decided to make our own.
Okay.
And it's a long process. It's a long process
Okay.
of.
So yeah, you have your holiday ham.
We have the holiday ham.
What else is in your holiday ham?
We have,
I'm sorry. No, in your
and the
Noche Buena. Yeah.
We have a macaroni salad.
Okay.
And then sometimes when we are a big family, or like when some other families visits come over, we have to have that lechon in.
Okay.
Lechon, and then rice, and then can't forget the Coke Zero on the table. Can't forget the beverage that satisfies the rest of the meal. And then
Coke Zero, man.
Coke Zero.
Yeah, that's always like the small detail. It's quite small and it's not that important, but
Yeah.
and you just can't go without it, man.
Yeah.
Especially if it's lechon, man.
Yeah.
You need to sort of diffuse the kanang tambok, the loodness, right, of the greasiness
Yeah.
of the tambok. So you have it sort of washes off.
Especially with the salty part of the ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just need to quench that thirst from the salt from.
Correct.
Yeah. So and I think if I can remember what else we have, macaroni salad. We have sometimes arroz caldo and what's the other one called? The one with tripes. What is it called?
Lengua.
No. It's in the tip of my tongue, but it's made with tripes. It's basically arroz caldo with tripes.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think, and then we have some hard-boiled eggs. Throw in some calamansi.
Hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs with the arroz caldo.
Why is that?
It's to add that extra flavor with the arroz caldo, and then add some. It depends. It depends what you want. Goto. Okay, there we go.
Goto.
Goto.
Oh, goto.
Goto.
That's your goto meal.
Yeah, that's my dad's goto meal.
Really?
I don't like to eat goto.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm more of an arroz caldo kind of guy.
Okay. So that's your Noche Buena.
That's our Noche Buena.
Okay, and the headlines for Philippine Star: more cancer, hypertension, mental illness, medicines exempted from VAT. That's according to PhilStar. And market slips and cautious trade ahead of BSP meeting. Congress has oversight on confidential fund use, ex-COA executive says. And Senate okay's bill reorganizing NEDA into an entire department. According to Philippine news agency, Dole recognizes partners in effective delivery of government services. And DTI Cordillera supply of basic commodities of Noche Buena items are stable. According to the Department of Agriculture, over 1 million pesos worth of damage due to Canlaon eruption. And according to Manila Bulletin, Raj and everyone, Independent Electricity Market Operator of the Philippines, or EMOP, stable power supply expected in 2025. That's good news, right?
Okay, yeah.
And according to Manila Times, Albay Veterinary Office says no bird flu reported in Albay. And Quezon City tells realty tax payers pay full and get 20% discount.
Ooh.
And that's the latest.
That's a good discount, yeah.
That's the latest news in and around the Philippines. Stay tuned for the local news coming up a little later on. We're going to go. Our go-to newspaper for local news is Sunstar. That's coming up. Get ready, okay? It is now 8:54. Hi, this is Jiggy Juice. Pasko na jud. Ang amuang kinasing
This is
Is this the same singer po that you mentioned?
Yeah, Pilito Corrales. Yeah.
Ah.
.1 TMC, the most Cebu music, Pilita Corrales. Tuguti kami. Allow us. I think what that song is about asking permission to make panaygun. You know what panaygun is, right?
No, please educate
Caroling.
me.
Like caroling.
Ah,
Manaygun means caroling
Oh, wow.
in Binisaya. You didn't know that word?
I did not know that
That's
word.
so. That's such a common phrase, a common word. But you have people caroling in your neck of the woods, right?
Yeah, some do come, yes.
Yeah. And how's that? Like, what kind of songs do you hear? Do you hear their caroling or?
Yeah, I do hear some caroling. The most song that I've heard of caroling is Ngayong Pasko. It just goes like that, and the one that's I really don't know. It's the one that's sung by ABS-CBN.
That sounds like every Christmas song.
Yeah, yeah, that's ating tinig going in up. Yeah, I really don't know. I forget.
Okay. You know
I
what?
apologize to everyone
You know
listening.
what? For we were talking about how busy people are during the holidays, right?
Yes.
Especially the service industry, like the
Mm-hmm.
hotels and all of that stuff. You know, I was just having coffee with somebody who was working in the retail industry and still working in the retail industry, and she was talking about how how toxic
Ooh.
it is to be working, especially during the holiday season, because everybody especially your whole entire family is like relaxing or having vacations and planning trips and all of that stuff. And in the meantime, they're like, especially if you work in a mall, right? You're at your busiest, right?
Yes,
That's
especially with all the sales going on.
yeah, and everybody just going to the malls, right? You can tell how, especially on weekends, right? The mall is like jam packed. Right?
Oh yeah.
You can barely find parking and all that stuff, and the lines are so long. It's so stressful.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, because I'm guilty of this. You're also guilty of this, Raj, right? I mean, you mentioned to me sometimes if there's an important thing in school, you can't fall asleep, right?
Yes.
And me, for example, like I can't stop thinking about work, even if I'm taking a dump or
Yeah.
having coffee.
Yeah.
Even in my relaxed time, right? Because I usually have like one cup of coffee a day, maybe at home, maybe somewhere in a cafe, depending on how I feel. And I just want to have like some like organized things in my head, like sort of defrag my brain.
Yes.
If you know what I mean. You know what
Yeah, some-
defragging is, right?
Yeah.
I just found out, but I don't know if it's true. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's no more defragging your laptop or your hard drive.
I
Is
think you can.
is that still a thing?
I think you still can.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I was asking somebody, and that she said, you don't do that anymore. There's no like that's an old way.
Yeah, that's an old way.
But-
But like, I think there are some people who still do it.
Really?
Yeah.
And does that still do what it does?
Like, wait, I think we have two definitions. Defragging. Do you mean defragging like erasing?
No, defragging. Like
Okay, so it's a different
there's a feature on your computer that says scan disk or defrag.
Oh.
Right? You're familiar with that, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
So, but do you still have you ever? When was the last time you defragged anything? Nothing, right?
Oh, yeah. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. So
I think,
maybe
yeah.
that thing doesn't do its
Yeah.
job anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe there's no more defragging. Anyway, but I still do defrag.
all right, that's understandable.
So I usually go to the coffee shop and all of that stuff, right? But still, I'm thinking about work. So I guess maybe we can ask our listeners because we both need help, right? And a lot of our friends, our brothers and sisters atong mga kaigsunan, ganahan sila sa kinahanglan sila og tabang unsaon pag pahuway, unsaon pag relax. How do you
Step away from work.
step away from work? Unsaon man nimo paghunong sa paghuna-huna sa imuhang trabaho?
Yeah.
How do you stop thinking about work? Not because you're quitting or you're whatever it is, whatever reason,
yeah,
just so that you can relax ba.
Just take a step back.
How do you step back? How do you detach yourself from work, even for just a day, right? Like if you're on vacation and you're still thinking about work, that is horrible, right? Right?
Yep.
And if you're at home and resting and about to go to sleep, you can't stop thinking about whatever it is happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you can't sleep, right? It's difficult, right?
Yeah.
So I think some people have figured that out. I hope. So how do you guys stop from thinking about work? Unsaon man ninyo paghunong sa paghunahuna sa inyong trabaho, sa inyong eskwelahan? How does it work for you? Let me know. Let us know. Text us 0999-887-6070. Unsaon man ninyo paghunong o paghunahuna sa inyong trabaho, even for just a minute or maybe like a day, right? Or a few days, so that when you go back to work, mura ka og ma-re-energize ba? You know what I mean? Nga murag imuhang gi buhat is you're looking at work from kind of a new perspective, right?
Ooh.
Diba?
Okay,
Kaya mo man
okay.
ay may tabo na, if you stop thinking about something for a while, and when you go back to the thing, it feels like it's new, right?
Yeah, if you feel refreshed, you feel,
Refreshed,
and I think when you also see it in a new way, where like it's been so long that since you've done that, like either work or school,
Yeah.
I think you get that sort of small motivation to do it again.
Yeah. So I'd like to know, guys, unsa inyong sekreto? How do you stop thinking about work? Like, how do you stop thinking about school? Because our mind is difficult to control. you can't control your thoughts, right? You can't even control what's the next word that you're about to say. You know what I mean? Like you can't. There's so many things you can't control about life, and one of those is to stop thinking about the thing that's happening tomorrow, right? Because di ba, one of my personal mantras is, one of my personal beliefs is that stress is the distance between where you are and where you want to be, right? So, para nako kanang mas stress ka, ang pasabot ana nga dili ka present, dili ka wala ka nagunahuna sa imong karon, imong gihunahuna ang ugma or ang kagahapon, dili ang karon mo nang mas stress ka,
Okay.
right? That's where for me that's where stress comes from, at least some stress. That's where it comes from. So kanang maghunahuna ka sa trabaho nimo ugma or sunod semana, stressful man na for some people, right?
Yeah.
So, or for most people, right? And I have been in this industry for more than half my life, Raj, and it doesn't matter what it is that you do, even though you love what you do. If you do it long enough, it sometimes it becomes stressful,
Yeah, it
right?
becomes tiring. Yes.
Yeah, because the repetition gets a little old and all of that stuff.
Keep
So,
on doing the same
yeah,
thing over and over.
Yeah,
and over
yeah.
again.
So of course you have to try to reinvent yourself, reinvent the job, reinvent the thing that you're doing, change it up a little, change the view, for example. Because there are some people are no longer effective just because of where they're doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for example, kanang tao nga mularga, for example. Among other things, one of the biggest contributors for me lang the biggest contributors to how or why people succeed overseas is the phenomenon of kanang the clean slate phenomenon ba, the opportunity to start from zero, from scratch, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and because you have the opportunity to start from scratch in another place, and you have a kind of experience already back home, so you already know what not to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one of the aside from, of course, the different environments of the country, for example, that you have decided to migrate to, right? Naam ginay mga advantages like like they have better healthcare, better pay, and all of that stuff. But granting all else equal, I think if you have the chance to start again, you'll probably be more successful because you already know what not to do. You already know what to do and all of that stuff. So importante na nga you can have an opportunity to start anew. So kanang mo pahuway ka, kanang mo relax ka. Mato ka, let's just say go to the beach for a little while.
Yeah.
And not think about work for a day, or
Yeah.
2 or even 3 or
Yeah.
depending on how long your vacation is.
Yeah.
When you go back to work, there's a feeling of newness. Like it's like a clean bond paper, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you already have experience in nga field, right? Ibaw na kung sa buhaton nimo, pero ang imong pananaw murag bag-o, right? Ikaw Raj, like I know nga you can't stop thinking about work, right? Or you can't
Or
stop
school,
thinking
yeah.
about school. Or sometimes dili ka makatug.
Yeah.
But do you try not to think about it? Is there even an effort, or are you just kaning surrendering na lang kani? So ingon na lang ka nga anin lang gyud niyo, wa mo koy mabuhat ani. Unsa man like
Well, for me, I'm pretty sure it depends on if something is really important to me.
okay.
Or if if there's a very important school event or either school project that has to be accomplished.
Okay.
But I think, but like if there's like nothing else to do, like if everything's in line, everything was submitted accordingly. Yeah, I guess you could say it will take just about an hour just to forget about for me.
Okay.
For me, just to be able to step away, be able to relax, and actually, take that break from being able to take that break from actually working, and just remember that you're still human, you still exist, you still need to play hard. When you work hard, you have to play hard as well, just so that you can at least feel sane after that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you just leave it at that. You don't fight it. The not sleeping. I mean, like the thinking about the thing tomorrow.
Well,
Has there ever been a time that you won in the battle of not thinking about and thinking about the thing?
oh yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. I think a huge contributor to that will definitely have to be about yung mulaag ka sa mga imong friends.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has happened some numerous times where there's this project coming up the next day, but then you're lag with friends already.
Okay,
and then
okay.
so that also sometimes breaks my time management where
So that's how you forget about things.
Yeah.
Mulag kasi yung
Yeah.
with your barkada,
it
right?
just when I hang out with my friends, it forces more like I convince myself, okay, this is a time
Okay.
to step away
Yeah.
because even in the past week, even though that there's this project coming up tomorrow, for the past week you've done nothing but study for finals
Okay.
or for midterms. So
Okay.
this is the time where you need to relax. This is the time where your me time. This is your me time.
Okay.
So yes.
So at least you sort of distract your mind by having other conversations, right? With other people, right?
Yeah.
Kaya problema nato gud usahay is environmental mo ng stress, di ba? Like for example, you're just in your room, right? Or you're just in your house and you stay there and then you're trying to avoid thinking about something, but you're in the same place, right? And I think sakto ka. I think it's important to remove yourself from the place that you're having a problem thinking about the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Because if you remove your place, if you remove yourself from the place, then and have maybe like different conversations about something else
Yeah.
other than the thing
Yeah.
that you can't stop thinking about, and that helps a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Another way how I detach myself from working from school
Okay.
or work is I go to the gym.
Okay.
And then for after like a long day of schoolwork, I go to SM Cebu in the Slimmers World.
Okay. Okay.
And then I work out for about 3 hours.
Wow.
2.5 to 3 hours.
Whoa, that's a
And
long
then,
time.
Yeah, and then what I focus on is try to get a new PR, new personal record.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, when I started out in the gym, I remember I could barely like not stop thinking about school.
Okay.
Because I'm in the gym and then there's this in the back of my head. I have to do this when I get home. I have to finish this test for tomorrow. Yada
Okay.
yada yada.
Okay.
And then, but I remember like when I go into the gym, I just get into gym mode. I go to this like workout mode where it's just nothing you think about. It's just numbers, reps, and then I think that's what helps me detach and like what makes me, I guess you could say, rest.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Rest
actually a good
myself from-
idea.
yeah.
I'd go to the gym. See, what is this? Who is this from? We have a text here from 229. Good morning. I go vacation to a secluded place
Ooh.
para walay signal, walay makatawag or Viber nako. Well, that's a good idea.
That's a good
I
idea.
like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Yes, I remember a song about that. About there's nothing like you and me on the beach, out of reach. Because sometimes magod imong telepono, although musuway na ka og bakasyon, musuway na ka og detach sa imong gihuna-huna, pero imong telepono
Yeah.
will constantly reel you back in, right?
Yeah.
To think about the thing. Hey, think about me.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
There's just nothing but you and nature.
Yeah. According to Janro, maayong bungkag daw. So he's a super fan, by the way.
Hello. Good morning.
I do a breathing exercise when I'm stressed. That's a good idea. Breathing idea. Actually, kanang breathing is one of the instruments for meditation.
Whoa.
And that's one way to distract yourself from your thoughts. Because I think one of the most relaxing sounds is the sound of your own breath. Ay lang nang ihubak ka kay. Stressful man or gisipon ka. You can just regular breathing ba?
Yeah.
And mura man na siya a kind of meditative practice nga. One of the first things that your teacher will tell you is to just listen to your breath. Because just listen to your breath. And then just focus on your breath. And I think if you're able to do that and not think about anything else but your breath, and you're already beginning to succeed in
Yeah.
battling the demon that is that are your thoughts, right?
Yeah, you just have to breathe in,
Yeah.
breathe out.
Breathe out.
To everyone listening, this is your time to meditate just
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Yeah,
Everyone
and,
breathe in.
and control your mind, because like your mind is your tool. Don't let your mind control you. You have to be able to control your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be controlled by it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Meditation.
Yeah.
It helps, hey.
Yeah, it
Wow,
helps.
wait, we
Yeah,
feel a bit
yeah.
relaxed now.
Now I can't think of anything. now my mind is blank.
The topic's out of the question.
Yeah, now I need to play a song because I don't know what to say anymore. Let's just play that song that you love listening to.
Oh, here we go.
Let's play that other song, because that guy Juan Pasa actually has another song that's also just as hilarious. This time it's not about chicken dung. It's about cats.
All
That's
right.
distracting him from being able to sleep at night.
Ooh.
You know how it is, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it is not you who can't sleep because of your thoughts. Sometimes it's like external forces, right, outside of you.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the most annoying sounds in the evening is when there's like a frigging cat on your ceiling, right? Yeah, and then especially if they're mating. Have you heard cats mating?
Oh, yeah. They're so loud.
Anyway,
So loud, yeah.
let's listen to this song.
All right, here we go.
Juan Paasa and Yao Ming.
Let's hear it.
Listen to this. Have you heard the song?
Not yet. Like I mentioned, Juan Paada Ite. That was the first song I heard from Juan Paada.
This is different. This is about
All right,
he's complaining about cats on the ceiling.
All right.
Tuwaran ako si Ming Ming ko na, bro. It's just interesting about how he's singing about such mundane things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so mundane, but the way he's singing it is like
So beautiful.
yeah, like it's like a power ballad
Yeah.
about cats on his ceiling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty damn creative. I should say.
Oh, my guitar solo pa.
Makamata sa tungan gabi mo naman.
.1 TMC, Yao Ming from Juan Paasa. It is now 9:19. Don't forget, it is happening this December 31, New Year's Eve. The New Year's Eve Tops Grand Celebration. You can watch all of the fireworks all over Cebu City. You can even see a bit of Mandaue City and Lapu-Lapu City's fireworks. Have you ever done that? Have you ever viewed New Year's from Tops?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, if you have time, Raj, I suggest that you do that because you will be able to see everyone's fireworks.
Every firework.
You're
wow.
going to be able to witness millions, if not billions, of pesos burned to the ground.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
So yeah, you do it here at Tops. So we have a little celebration up there. It's actually a grand celebration. Nothing little about the grand celebration.
We hope you guys can come.
Yes,
to this.
please. Yeah. You can just contact Montebello Villa Hotel. I'll give you the number later on, so you can score your grand dinner tickets. Anyway, we're talking about unsaon na to pag unplug, right?
How to unplug or detach ourselves.
How do we detach ourselves from school, from work? We'd like to get your inputs. Text us 0999-8876-070. Na ini-answer ganiha nga ingon siya nga you go to a place kuno nga walay signal para di ka matawgan, right? Eh, lisod ka ng imong telepono, nagbakasyon ka, nagrelax ka, pag human imong telepono sige bagting. Lisod kaayo. Di ka makarelax na magbabalik sa kaguna-una, di ba? So and I think Manggod, of course, to be able to be effective or whatever it is that you do, you need to also control and make your mind, take care of your mind, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So kung naoni mo ba, I don't know if you agree with me, Raj.
Let's hear it.
Especially in the academic situation ba. School teaches you how or teaches you how to absorb ideas. School puts knowledge, wisdom, ideas in your head, right?
Okay.
That's what school does, right?
Yeah.
Primarily, right?
Yes.
To teach you this and teach you that.
Yeah.
So it inputs a lot of things in your brain. But I don't know of any subject. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, because the last time I was in school was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But they don't teach you how to take care of the vessel that contains the things
Oh yeah.
that you're being taught. Am I correct? Or
that's correct.
Is there a way for that you can remember when you were in school, or be it homeschool or maybe even in real school, like in an actual university or high school? Is there like a subject or is there like an exercise that teaches you not to absorb thoughts and ideas and theories or mathematical equations, but how to take care of your
yourself.
brain, of your brain, of your
Of
mind?
your brain, okay.
Is there a subject like that?
Okay, so from grade 1 to grade 10, there was absolutely no subject relating to that. So yes, I mean technically you could say, I mean, before K to 12 was implemented, there was really no subject. The closest thing you have was either you talk to your teacher or the guidance counselor.
So, but the problem has already occurred, right?
Yes.
So
it has occurred.
because if you have to talk to your teacher, you have to talk to your guidance counselor.
Yeah.
Something has already happened, right? Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. But right now, for grades 11 to 12, there is a new subject for self-awareness.
Okay.
As our beloved Ati Justin Narvios.
Okay.
Back when she was still in Ateneo and I was still in Ateneo.
Okay.
She taught us psychology.
Okay.
And it's basically just a basic and a bit advanced understanding of what the human brain can do.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess there were times where she taught us how to take care of ourselves, like
Yeah.
the way how can we react on the way that our brain reacts.
Yeah.
And then right now there's also a new subject called personal development.
Okay.
Some what some school calls shortcut as per dev.
Okay.
Where it's just development, not where you develop yourself to the right track personally. Something
Okay.
you do personally.
Okay.
Either it has something to do with your body, has something to do with your mind, or your whole body in general. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what's good about the K to 12 implement,
Mm-hmm.
because from grade 1 to 10 there was nothing else that you could do to prevent something like that. You have to wait until it happens and then go to the guidance counselor.
Okay.
But now with personal development, either in psychology, you can, let's say you're having the hard time of life, either anxiety
Yeah.
or depression, or like just
Just try to
Yeah.
just to try to remove or stop thinking about
stop thinking about school.
about school all the time,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah. So that's when you develop, like in personal development, they teach you how to take care of yourself. So, and one of them is actually like what you said, detaching yourself
Mhm.
from school.
Mhm.
They don't teach you. They don't give you the steps, but they said that you should do it.
Okay, so maybe they're just giving the responsibility to the student to figure out saan mo pagpahuway sa imong utok, right?
Yeah.
How to detach yourself
How to
from.
detach yourself from.
Okay, mura mo ganagon, mura mo treadmill sad ba, di ba nga? Murag di ka kahawa ba, di ba?
Yeah, yeah.
Kaya tungod sa kakusog sa treadmill,
Mm-hmm.
lisod na kag mahawa, kung mahawa ka, mapiang ka.
Oh yeah.
Sabot ka?
Yeah.
Ana, so yeah. Atong gisgutan karong buntaga mga kaigalan sa atong mag-anisay ta sugbo is how do you detach yourself from work? How do you remove yourself from work or school? Even just for a while, temporarily lang para makarelax pa gamay ba? Kay lisod man kay nang bakasyon ka, especially karon nga holidays, some people are on vacation. Nga sige mo gon huna sa imong trabaho, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There has to be a way for you to do that. So we'd like to get your inputs. Text 0999 887 6070, or you can go to our Facebook page at Tops Media Center.
Send us comments, guys, in this YouTube live chat. Here we go.
Mga isan mig advice ninyo, di ba?
Yeah,
Okay,
we need help too.
Exactly.
We
right?
need it too.
Yeah, yeah. Here's a song that maybe is talking about that. Franco, our very own, of course, because it's 105.1 TMC, the most Cebu music. This one is called Lost in Your Universe.
Wow.
On 105.1 TMC, the best of us.
All right, let's hear it. I just want to, I don't know, 0999 887 6070.
Yeah, you did it, man.
Okay.
Okay. Wala. Yung man. Parang mabikas eh.
Ano yung parang ito parang
Hi guys.
ano naman.
Okay. All right. Sige. 1, 2, ready, get. Tingnan dapat sih. Okay. Ano isa? Boleh lang. 1, 2, 3. Hi guys, welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice, and that guy over there,
Hello, everyone. I am Raj Sangabi.
ang atong hisgutan karong buntaga sa atong mag-anisay ta Subo. Kini, unsaon man ninyo nga makalimot mo sa inyong trabaho, sa inyong eskwelahan, masig usa ka adlaw, how do you detach yourself from thinking about work and or school?
Please send us your answers in either the YouTube live chat in the Tops Media Center or text us at 0999-887-6070.
Tabangin taon mi kami ni Raj dili sa nimi kibaw. Sige kami piganaon sa among eskwelahan ug sa among trabaho. Masking natuog na mi, nagdamgo mi ang among mga damgo ang among eskwelahan or ang among trabaho dili sa TMC. So please tell us sa atuang mag-decide Tasubo, how do you relax? How do you unplug? How do you detach from work or from school? Send us your thoughts 0999-887-6070 or you can go to YouTube at Tops Media Center. Please join us. Okay, thank you. Okay. Sorry, man, I didn't tell you what to do.
No, sorry, totally fine. Totally
So I just assumed that
Yeah.
you would know to go. Oh, fuck.
Here.
Thank you, bro. Thanks, man. Pag-decide na subo, kini, kung saan man ninyo na makalimot mo sa inyong trabaho, sa inyong eskwelahan, masigusa na ka adlaw, how do you detach yourself from thinking about work and or school?
Please send us your answers in the
Nga makalimot mo sa inyong trabaho, sa inyong eskwelahan, masigusa na ka adlaw, how do you detach yourself from thinking about work and or school?
Please send us your answers in either the YouTube live chat in the Tops Media Center or text us at 0999-887-6070.
Nabangin taon mi kami ni Raj dili sa kibaw. Sige kami piganaon sa among eskwelahan ug sa among trabaho. Masking natuog na mi, nagdamgo mi ang among mga damgo ang among eskwelahan or ang among trabaho dili sa TMC. So please tell us sa atuang mag-decide Tasubo, how do you relax? How do you unplug? How do you detach yourself from work or from school? Send us your thoughts 0999-887-6070 or you can go to YouTube at Tops Media Center. Please join us. Okay, thank you. Hi guys, welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice, and over there is.
Hi everyone, I'm Raj.
Hi guys, welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice, and that guy over there.
Hello everyone, I am Raj Sangabi.
Ang atong hisgutan karong buntaga sa atong mag-anisay Tasubo. Kini, kung saan man ninyo nga makalimot mo sa inyong trabaho, sa inyong eskwelahan, masigusa na ka adlaw, how do you detach yourself from thinking about work and or school?
Please send us your answers in either the YouTube live chat in the Tops Media Center or text us at 0999-887-6070.
Nabangin taon mi kami ni Raj dili sa nimi kibaw. Sige kami piganaon sa among eskwelahan ug sa among trabaho. Masking natuog na mi, nagdamgo mi ang among mga damgo ang among eskwelahan or ang among trabaho dili sa TMC. So please tell us sa atuang mag-decide Tasubo, how do you relax? How do you unplug? How do you detach yourself from work or from school? Send us your thoughts. 0999
Gusto mo ba sa Facebook niyo ba?
Raj, Elijah, and Gabriel.
Hi guys, welcome to Top. Hi guys, welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Ju. Hi guys, welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice, and that guy over there.
Hello, everyone. I am Raj Sangabi.
Hi guys, welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is. Hi guys, welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is
You know,
Jiggy
it
Juice.
took me a long time. It took me a long time to get comfortable with that line. My name is hi. My name is.
Hi guys,
It's so fucking self-centered, man.
welcome to
You know what
Top
I mean?
of the Morning.
Yeah.
I'm your host. My name is Jiggy
Do,
Juice.
do you
Hi guys, welcome to
Do you
Top
get
of
that?
the Morning. I'm your host.
do you get that feeling?
My
Like,
name is Jiggy Juice, and that guy over there.
Hello, everyone. I am Raj
do,
Sangabi.
do you get that feeling
Ang
sometimes?
ato isgutan ka ng buntaga sa ato mag-decide na suko. Gini, kung saan man ninyo na makalimot mo sa inyong trabaho, sa inyong eskwelahan, mas
Do you get that sometimes, bro? That's called imposter syndrome, right? You familiar with that feeling?
Uh,
Sometimes na murag like
Ryan, you're
Like-
playing a character only.
no, imposter syndrome is like you don't feel like you deserve it. Like like you feel like you're an imposter. Like you feel like what am I doing? Like who's that person? I'm like I don't deserve this. Like I don't have the confidence. I shouldn't be confident to. You know what I mean? Like
You've never heard of that term, imposter syndrome?
Never heard of it.
So that's like a feeling when you feel like, um,
Like you don't deserve it.
yeah, like you know, like you feel like you're an imposter, like you're fake. That's called imposter syndrome.
I mean, I used to feel. I remember feeling some of that times when I used to perform for school. When like, wow, I'm on stage. Me? Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember there being a lot of way better singers, but they chose me to be on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get that.
But you know, that's really the thing about performing at a high level, man. There is really like a level of self confidence. I would even venture in saying narcissism to be able to perform at a high level. Like I'm the guy to do it. I can do it. People call it the kind of confidence, right? Like it is what it is. It's like a form of narcissism that your undeniable total belief on the self, right? Right?
I can see it.
It is, if not related to narcissism, right? Like, because narcissism is your it's like a delusion of who you are, right?
Okay.
You got to be a little delusional too of what you can or cannot do,
Yeah.
right? You just can't say like, I can do this,
Yeah.
like you can't say you can't do it if you're performing, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You have to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna love
make,
me.
Yeah. Make delusions. Yeah.
They're gonna love me because if you're just if you just have enough self confidence just to perform, and that's exactly what's just going to happen. You're just going to perform. But if you think in your head, I'm gonna blow them away, just in your head, and maybe you will, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
You have to make yourself believe.
Yeah.
Make yourself. Okay, yeah, they're gonna love me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna perform this guitar, and I'm not gonna make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Once you get out there,
Hi.
hi.
Yeah, I know somebody who's like that. Like Cookies, for example. Like when he performs, he's like the king of the stage. You know,
Yeah.
this is my kingdom. You're all my subjects.
Mhm.
And then when he goes out so like that, there's got to be like a level of like suspension of reality, right?
Mm.
For just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Those are some of the instruments that people use, man, to perform at a high level.
I think a good way to also put it is like you make up expectations in your head so that the reality doesn't hit you harder. So like you make this like expectation like, oh, I'm gonna be this, like when I get out there I'm gonna be the guy on stage, because like when you always think of like yourself in the reality, and then you see yourself in the reality, it's gonna hit you a bit harder
Yeah.
than when you see yourself as the best, or when you see yourself that guy. That the impact's a bit less.
Yeah.
So I think that helps. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, man, we're a funny species, man.
Mm-hmm.
The human race, right?
I'm in the studio.
Okay.
What's with the exclamation points?
Just calling you.
Ah, okay.
Bakit nandito sa screen? Delay to?
Delayed, delayed.
Ah, okay.
Sige, man. Bye-bye.
Basahin mo yung mga sinabi sa'yo.
Ah, sige, bye-bye. Someone's asking po in the comment section if they can pass by Friday afternoon. Drop off pasalubong.
What's up, bro? You're saying?
The rest comment in the YouTube asking if they can drop by TMC.
Yeah, it's open, but
Friday afternoon.
yeah, we're not here. Tell him. I can actually talk to him.
Hello, I'm to Jan Ro. You can drop it off on Friday afternoon. Yeah, we'll still be open, but me and Jiggy Juice here won't be here anymore because we're only here until 12.
Hi guys, welcome to Hi guys, welcome.
So when I'm looking at myself, like, what the fuck, who the moron? You know what I mean?
Hi guys, welcome to Top of the Market.
That's called imposter syndrome. Who's that idiot? How do you not? How do you stop yourself from not thinking like that, man?
I think it's how I less worry about the way I think about the way I think about it, and more about how I can what I can do to
So
impress the crowd, probably. Like,
impress the crowd. So the so the delusion is that you have something in you that will impress the crowd, right?
yeah, something I don't know. I just try to convince myself, like you said, a delusion to find a way to make an impact. I guess.
Delusion.
And I guess like once you see the reaction from the audience on those times where you try to psych yourself up some, maybe from the many times that you've done it, those delusions start to become like,
Reality.
yeah, you get like, like you made an impact on, wait, let me see if I still have the video. You made an impact on my friends' lives.
Yeah. Who?
Oh, I have the video here. Let me find it real quick. Let's see here.
May pagmungit ang kanta dito, bro. Ang espaso ba? Yeah. Ihatag ko sa messenger ba? Kanang mga kanta kas espaso ba? Mga misay ang kanta na nindo.
Here. All of these people.
Hold on. All right, everyone say DJ Jiggy. DJ Jiggy.
Yeah, all of them. Listen, when they were young, Y101 FM radio. They listened to the man with the golden voice.
No. See that. I'm very bad at getting kind of listening to shit like that, man, from other people. Like I'm very bad at listening to compliments, or if that was a compliment, I can't stand compliments, man. I go, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
I'm not gracious in accepting, like when you say shit like that.
Yeah.
I see. I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Let's not talk about that because that's another entire story.
Yeah.
105.1 TMC mo pahuway.
Sama na ito pagpahuway sa paghuna-huna sa atong panrabaho, sa atong eskwelahan, even for just a day. O salang kaadlaw. Isod kayo, di ba? Muna atong hisgutan karong buntaga sa mag-inisay ta sugbo. Kay karong mga panahuna, daghan kay mga tao nga murag opposing, contrasting experiences ba nga. Daghan kaing tao nga nag-relax karon, na mahuway, na makasyon sa ubang nasod, or maybe na makasyon sa mga resort diri sa syudad sa Sugbo, or maybe sa laing mga isla sa Pilipinas. Napoy yung mga ubang tao ron kay pinaka-busy maron ng buwan sa tuig, right? Especially sa retail industry, right? So, apoy sa kaysanan, kayod sa kaysanan, daghan kayong customer, daghan kayong trabaho, daghan kayong problema, di ba?
Yeah.
So, ang ganahan may mahibaw, na eventually, this all has to stop, and we have to figure out a way how to detach ourselves from work and from school. Let us know your thoughts. You can join us on the chat group at Tops Media Center on YouTube. That's Tops Media Center. Si Janro, makaarira ka dire anytime, Janro. Pero nami sa buntag kami ni Raj dire from 8 a.m. till 12 noon. Unya, sometimes abot mi dire hapon. Pero kung ganahan ka ni Kuya Magic, nasa dire alas 12. Pero by the way, I just heard the news nga si Kuya Magic murag na siya gamay nga aksidente sa motor ba.
Ooh.
I think he fractured or dislocated his shoulder. I'm not
Oh
sure
no.
how he is. He looks like he's fine. He actually was in Chonghua Hospital last night. I think he's fine now.
I hope so.
Yep.
Prayers goes
So,
out to him
yes,
and his
please, yeah.
wife. Yeah.
Yeah. So usa sa ni si Kuya Magic, grabe sa kini magunahuna og trabaho. Dili siya undang trabaho ba? Dili mo undang og hunahuna sa trabaho ba niya. Ang problema ang manggod ana gud I think correct me if I'm wrong is kung kuwang kag pahuway kay sige kag hunahuna sa imong trabaho sa imong eskwelahan ining abot na nimo sa trabaho dili ninyo ka epektibo. You're no longer effective. You're no longer as good as you should be because kuwang makagpahuway. Right? You lack sleep, right?
Yeah,
you lack sleep,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, yes.
So kuwang kag pahuway, so mahitabo na is imong trabaho bati na noon. Imong exams imbis you'll do well, you're no longer going to do well because you lack sleep.
You lack sleep, yeah.
And your mind needs sleep, right? Like I always love to say, your superpower is sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you sleep, when you wake up, you feel like you're Superman. I really feel that sincerely. Kung sakto ko gatog, I feel like I'm the king of the world.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Pero kung kuwang sa gatog, I feel like a frigging slave. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's heaven and earth goodbye. Grabe jud kay ka layo og diferensya sa kanang nakapahuway ka. You know what I mean? And then kanang nakabakasyon ka. Ning abot nimo sa imong panrabaho kaning murag lahi gyud abot mo sa eskwelahan nimo like lahi gyud imong pananaw sa kalibutan murag imong kalibutan bag-o ba. You have like a renewed appreciation of life, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I think also to add to that, like rest doesn't also just have to be about sleeping. So like it also depends on the other people. You
Yeah,
know,
it doesn't have to be.
doesn't have to be sleep. It can be like a 1-day vacation staycation.
Yeah.
It can be 1 week. It can be a whole month of staying away from work that you get to be fully re-energized
Yeah.
and be ready.
Sakto ka. But let me just interject, okay? Kanang sleep, it's not a nice to have, right? And you know, pwede kumatog, pwede dili.
Yeah.
Dili sad siguro mahimo, dili siguro correct na statement nga ingon ka nga, rest is not just about sleep. Of course, it's not just about sleep, but when you say rest, that means you have to have the requisite amount of sleep in a day, right?
Yeah,
and
that's
then you can do whatever you want, you know, like play basketball or play video games or whatnot, right? But I think kung kuwang kang katog, all of those activities are for me not helping.
Yeah,
Because kuwang katog.
Yeah.
Like, so man mo pag basketball tarong kung kuwang katog, right?
Like
Oo, di ba?
yeah.
Yeah. Ako, you know what I do. I've been doing less of it, but this is a reminder to self, reminder to myself. I should do this one more often. Every day, so every night actually, kada gabi. What I usually do is I listen to a podcast and then I run. Like so, I see how long the podcast is. Usually the podcast is like 1 hour or 2 hours or 1 hour and a half, right? So I run until the podcast is over. So I'm hitting two birds with one stone. I am distracting myself from the thoughts of work or school or whatever things that I'm thinking about, and I'm immersing myself to the thoughts of some wise man or woman, right? Or some conversation about a topic. So mawagtang ako ang paghuna-huna sa usa ka butang, and I think about another thing, another topic, like another philosopher, for example, right?
Okay.
And inhabit the mind of a philosopher for like an hour and a half. And while I'm exercising, inighuman ako ana bay, ighuman ako og ganing exercise. Lamig kay akong paminaw. Nindot kayo niya. As the funny thing about running is that it actually, if you do it early enough and kaning distant enough from the time when you sleep, lamig kay imong katog kung sakto kag exercise. You know what I mean? But you don't do it like an hour before you go to sleep because you're not going to be able to sleep.
Yeah.
I did that before. Nasayop ko nga nidagandagan ko like alas 10 sa gabi. So, ano ko nakatog. Lami kay akong paminaw pero
di sa ko katog. So, I was just watching TV all day until I fell asleep, right? So, like I said, so I think kanang detaching, kanang resting, kanang just para nako kanang rest, kanang your strength to, because I think it requires effort to stop thinking about something. And sometimes the effort is lacking. I think most siguro na ang problema siguro, or maybe your mind is tired ba, and it can't not stop thinking about the thing. So I think nga part of the detaching, part of the resting of the mind is also it should be in the right state ba.
Right state to rest.
Sakto og pahuway ba.
Okay.
Para makahunong ka og huna-huna anang butanga.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because kana man gong, di ba, I remember somebody once said nga when you lack sleep, you are conquered, you are attacked by demons you conquered a long time ago. Ooh. So when you lack rest, you're conquered by the demons you slayed a long time ago. Mubalik na sila kay kuwang magagatog. You're murag disarmed ba, murakag your mind doesn't have the necessary tools ba to ward off whatever, So Mona said that's actually a very interesting quote, sa. When you lack sleep, you're conquered by the demons you slayed a long time ago. So kani mga butang wala na like you can do this,
Yeah.
You know you're not gonna go that way. You know you're not gonna go that way. But kung kuwang kagatog, murakag your guard is down ba. The same way as murakag dili ka maka hunahuna og di ka makaundang og hunahuna sa kabutang kay kuwang man kagatog, kuwang man ka og rest. So I think I sleep for me is as close as we can get to a panacea, to a cure-all. What do you think, man? What are your thoughts on that? Atong gisgutan ka ng buntaga sa atong mag-anisay ta sugbo is this. How do you detach yourself from school? How do you detach yourself from work? Unsaon manimo nga makaundang ka, makapahuway ka kariyot sa paghuna-huna sa imong mga gipanghuna-huna nga maka-distract nimo sa imong pag-relax, pagpahuway. What are your thoughts on that? On how important actual sleep is from being able to tame your mind.
So I just want to mention, go back to that time where you said that sleep is like a superpower.
Yeah.
So we all know how like Superman or Batman, they aren't Superman, Batman because they
sleep well.
Yeah, they sleep well
because they have a bat cave.
Like they're not Superman just because. They're not Superman if they don't have the laser eyes. They can't fly. They have the super strength.
Okay.
Just like us, we can't be myself. I can't be Raj Sangiwel, or Jiggy can't be Jiggy Juice if he doesn't have the right amount of sleep that he needs. He doesn't have that energy.
Correct.
Same for me. Like I can't be the best that I can be.
Okay.
Let's say when I let's say prepare, or like when I give a speech or something, or anything to do with school, my tests, I can't give out my 100% if I don't have that good amount hours of sleep to accomplish what we need to do. And like just like Superman, when he can't like fight Doomsday or any of his villains, he can't do that without his superpowers. Like an average Joe, average Joe cannot kill Doomsday or cannot kill the Joker with just, they aren't them without those superpowers. So I really like how you said that sleep is like the closest thing we have to
a superpower, right?
Yeah.
Right. Send us your thoughts, guys. What do you think? What are your ways and means to
dispatch
rest your mind, right? Figure out how to way to rest your mind and give it a kind of break, right? Because your mind needs a break too, right? It's not all about school. It's not all about work. Most of the problema, like you're so invested on a thing, ba, and you feel like that's the only thing. But see, the thing is, and I just used the word thing multiple times, man.
Yeah.
The thing is,
it's not, you're not just one thing.
Mm.
You're not just a student. You're not just this. You're not just that, right?
Mm.
And sometimes because we're so hyper focused, we forget that you also are a human being.
Mm-hmm.
That your body is
Sometimes we forget to like listen to ourselves like that.
your body requires rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your mind does not have infinite bandwidth, right? You can't possibly absorb all of that, right? In fact, I totally and completely believe that everything that we know now, although it's getting closer and closer. No, not getting closer, but it's becoming. We know more and more and more now. I don't think any human being has the bandwidth to understand everything, right? There's just no way on earth or anywhere for that matter that you can understand everything. So our thoughts, our ideas, our perception of who we are and what and where we are in the world is really incomplete. Kulang yun na siya. Dili imposible yun kayo nang makompleto. Once you decide on a way of looking at the world, then you miss out and you stop thinking about the other things. So your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs are incomplete. So once you decide on this, for example, I'm going to look at the world like this, then the world is so much more, so much richer than that. So your thoughts of the world are incomplete, right? So you have to like surrender to that banga. You will never be able to do everything, right?
Okay.
So kanang that humility banga. Like you need to rest, man.
Yeah.
You gotta stop. Why not allow like tomorrow is another day. You live to fight another day. Give yourself a break, and then maybe tomorrow, things will be different. Maybe tomorrow you'll have a better idea, or maybe tomorrow, the problem will disappear because sometimes naagi mga problema sa kalibutan sanga. Panahon na yung kinanglan. The only thing that's required of it is just a little time, right? Do you notice that about life, about some of the things in life? Actually doesn't require any action. It just requires a little time to pass, right? For example, kanang like a broken heart, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like, like you can't do anything about that. You know what I mean? You can't go to a heart surgeon and say, fix my broken heart. Although kanang broken heart ang masabi na kong figurative broken heart and somebody broke up with you, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But a little time pass and then it'll slowly disappear.
Yeah.
Right? But of course, if you're in that moment when you have a broken heart, but the world is ending, you know what I mean? That's how it feels like because my heart's been broken too. So murag, but if you have an understanding, panahon na, if you've already experienced it, then you can do that, right?
Go, yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes some people can't take it. But if they listen to their elders, then they're probably able to understand that it's just a little time, right? Right, Raj?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Text us 0999-887-6070. You can join us in the chat group. Maing bungkag ni mo da Janro to Marcos Arana and everyone listening to us on YouTube at Tops Media Center. Join us in our conversation at Tops Media Center or 0999-887-6070. How do you detach yourself from work? How do you stop thinking about work, even for just a moment?
I also like how you mentioned how important our state of mind is.
Yes.
So like even before we go to sleep and even when we get started for the day, I like how you mentioned that the way that our mind thinks and like our current state of mind is important, especially before we go to sleep. So like let's say before we go to sleep, we have to also sometimes when the next day is important, we always worry about what's going to happen the next day.
Yeah.
But sometimes like in that current state of mind, we forget to think like if we're taking care of ourselves, like hence not being able to get enough sleep. We're always like so focused on what's going to happen the next days that even we forget about taking care of ourselves. We're all busy taking care of that one thing.
Yeah.
If most
But
importantly,
you can't even you can't even do something about it because that's still tomorrow, right? You know what I mean? Thinking about it doesn't change it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, you're right. I know what you're talking about. Mura kag niingon nga you're busy thinking about tomorrow, but what about now? What about now?
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
What about now? I think for me, the most important day, the most important moment in your life is now. Like tomorrow is
It hasn't happened yet.
tomorrow is we don't know. We don't know. You don't know if you're gonna wake up, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But yesterday, like it's done.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can. No amount of crying, no amount of studying, no amount of whatever will change what has already been done. Right? You can improve on it tomorrow, maybe. In terms of, let's say, your grades, if you did badly last time, maybe you can. But yesterday, that's done. But we are all still bothered by that, right? Right. So thus the idea that stress is the distance between where you are and where you want to be, and all of us are being pulled by the thoughts, the stressors of tomorrow, and the stressors of yesterday, like all of the things that weigh us down, the things that happened before. You know what I mean? Like the traumas that we have, right? Atong mga gipangunahuna ato una nga nahitabo nato nga are still affecting us now, right? And sometimes mo gina importante kay makigisurya jud kag psychologist or psychiatrist because we sometimes don't know what's weighing us down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we don't know why we're like this. Like why don't I like this person? I don't even know him. You know what I mean? Like why is that? Like why am I thinking like this? Like there are things like that nga only a professional can point out, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, do you I would actually like to ask your
Go ahead,
opinion on
man.
this.
Go ahead. Ask me anything, man.
All right.
This is Jiggy Juice, and right across me is Raj. You're listening to Top of the Morning. This is a daily show that talks about practically anything under the sun, even over the sun, right? Atong gisugutan ka ng buntaga sa atong mag-anisay ta sugbo is how do you detach yourself from school? How do you detach yourself from work? Unsaan man yung pagpahuay mo ang utok nga makapahuay ka nga dili ka maghuna-huna sa trabaho sa eskwela even for just a day or two so that you can relax and be more effective. What's your question? Throw it to me,
All
Raj.
right.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, here we go. Do you think that, let's say, bad habits that we just all of a sudden we started to incorporate with our lives,
Bad habits?
either bad habits or things that are like considered wrong, like how you mentioned.
Okay.
Oh, this guy, I just met him, but I don't like him.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're caused by like the lack of sleep? Hence, we don't become the best of ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. I think this is another sweeping statement, and this might be quite controversial, but I believe this to be true. Most conflict, most pain, most suffering come from lack of information. Kuwang ra gyud ka og kaning og information ba? So nganong inani man ka kay kuwang kag information na sometimes kanang kung kuwang kag gatog, your mind doesn't have the bandwidth to process information, right?
Yes.
Like for example, kung di ka ganahan nganong gunahan niya, like, and like maybe because you don't like him, you're gonna express your dislike, right?
Yes.
Because you're an idiot because you lack sleep,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think I am a total idiot if I lack sleep. Seriously, man.
Wow.
Like my show, like I sound incoherent sometimes, almost like I'm a drunk when I lack sleep, right? Seriously.
Okay.
And of course, sometimes you do something long enough that there are like there's things that you memorize already. You just hang on to when you can't complete a sentence because your brain is fried, right?
Yeah.
So there are go-to phrases that people like us in the industry do and hang on to because we
That'll
like
keep
sleep.
it going?
That we sound like we're coherent.
Yeah.
But our minds are actually fried. So yeah, you're right. Kuwang na nagkatuog sad bay. Nganong ganan. Pero sakto ka. It's probably because you lack the bandwidth. But sometimes magud if you don't have the knowledge, the wisdom to understand nga na siguro rason nganong di ko ganahan na niya. Ngano ka? You know what I mean? You don't have the why ba? So kung wala kay why because wala lang ka wa kay kalibutan ba? You don't have the thought or the knowledge nga basig kaning dili ko ganahan sa iyang personality because adtong una na ay tao siguro nga napasakit nako parehan niya. For example lang ba?
Yeah.
Diba? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're never gonna think about that if you didn't learn that from reading or from other people or from listening or from watching something that will teach you how the mind works, right?
Okay.
So most of the importante sa na siya nga nasa kay knowledge, because if your bandwidth, if when I say bandwidth, magod, I mean your capacity to understand. That's what I mean by bandwidth.
Yes.
I'm using bandwidth because I don't know, man. That's like a computer term, right?
Yeah.
Right, but that's what I mean. But your ability to process is better if you have enough sleep. But if you don't have the requisite knowledge in your mind in the first place, then no matter how much processing power you have,
It still won't come out.
if it's you still will not be able to understand why I hate this person, because you don't have any theories in your head. Nga, basig siguro nga. Ano bitaw, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In case you're wondering what is happening, we're talking about how to relax your mind, how to rest, how to chill. I remember my daughter always telling me, "Chill, Dad, chill."
Just chill.
Yeah, that is such a millennial Gen X word, right?
Yeah,
Chill.
it came from the movie. I think it started off with the movie The Matrix.
The Matrix.
I think The Matrix, and hey man, just take a chill pill.
Yeah, take a chill pill.
Take a chill pill.
I remember speaking to my daughter. She's actually at home now, just relaxing, and she was complaining. She wasn't complaining. She was actually relishing the idea last night. Dad, tomorrow I have nothing to do.
Wow. I wish that could be me.
Tomorrow I have nothing to think about. And she's a worrier. She worries a lot. Like she really like similar to you. Like she just studies and studies and studies and until there's no more time. So and I noticed in her voice, like it was a kind of complaint. Nga, what am I going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people, mangod, feel guilty if they're not busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're not doing something, right? And I think that's a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, sure, you need to be busy, but busy at a certain time, and sometimes when you're done, when the day is done, then you're done, right?
I think that's one of the reasons why, like, the people who sometimes think that way, they don't have they don't. I think that's a good amount of time where you can say that the mind is controlling them.
Yeah.
Because and it's not it's not them controlling their mind. It's because they're stuck in a loop of always working.
Yeah.
That they forget that the reason why they're working is because they were able to get sleep.
Yeah.
But I think that wait, how do I say this? They're not listening to themselves when they're tired.
Yeah.
That's why they always find something, like they feel pressured. Oh no, wait, did I do everything? Blah 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 blah. That they sometimes they listen to all of these deadlines, etc. But they forget to listen to the most important thing, which is yourself. Which is why I think that's at the point where the mind is controlling them now. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's right. But kind of some corporate culture, but like like how do you define how do you get ahead in the workplace, right? Sometimes like people reward the busy person, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like according to one of the quotes that I heard is, if you want to succeed in the corporate world, just hold a bunch of folders, walk around the office, and have a cell phone on your head and look busy.
Yeah,
and
look busy.
you're good. That's how you get ahead.
Yeah.
Just look busy. But sometimes I think people confuse busyness with productivity, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Oh yeah.
sometimes you can be busy, but not productive, not effective, right? And I think we have to make that distinction, because some people are busy on the wrong things sometimes, right? Or maybe they're just pretending to be busy, right?
Yeah.
Could be also, diba? So I think we have to understand that sometimes you need to work smart. You know what I mean? Like prioritize your work, and then
Have good time management as
yeah,
well.
good, and have good time management, and also make sure nga you're effective. Meaning to say, whatever it is that you do allows you to be one step closer to your goal, right? Because you could be doing something, you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let's say, you're working, and then you could be, let for example, if your goal is to sell this much amount of money for, let's just say, for the company, right? And you're busy sweeping the floor, for example, right? Or you're busy I don't know, like other things, right? Instead of, let's say, instead of relegating, or what do you call that, giving this chore to somebody else who, let's just say, to clean up your hard drive, you're doing it yourself, right? Instead of going out there. So instead of going out there and making a sale, for example, right? So
Yeah.
so I think we have to understand what the goal is, right? And sometimes our business is being busy on the wrong things, and sometimes that's worse than not doing anything, right? Right. At least you're resting.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing something that's not going to get you closer to your goal, then why do it in the first place, right?
Yeah, yeah. And like in connection to that, like let's say our goal is the question of the question of our topic: how to dispatch yourself from work and from school.
So how to detach yourself.
Detach
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
So, dispatch. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, how to detach yourself? I remember being in school and like seeing all of these smart kids. How are they?
Smart kids. Can
These
somebody mga smart kids?
smart kids.
What is that your perception, or what do you
these
mean?
these smart kids, like the ones always on top of the class. And I was wondering,
Okay.
I never saw them look busy, like what you mentioned. What in the corporate world, what people view as busy as
Yeah.
many folders on the hand, telephone in the ear, and like sweating, running around the place.
Run around the office.
Yeah, run around the office
with cell phone in head and paper on your on your
yeah.
shoulders, and give that guy a raise. Right?
And I never got to see them like in that
Like a panic
state.
mode,
Yeah,
panic
in that
mode.
state. And then I think it's because like with a goal to detach yourself from school and work is to have like what you mentioned, to have good productivity.
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of people, like what you mentioned, they define productivity and busy very differently.
Yeah.
That when we have good time management, instead of procrastinating at the very last hour to submit that paper at
Yeah.
11:59 p.m.
Okay.
we can not only with good productivity we can ultimately reach our goal to detach ourselves from work, because we get to have more time instead of when you have that time, when you have that free time before you finish the deadline. Is it really, because you can say, there are people who can say that you are detached from the time before doing the work, but are you really detached from the work if you're thinking of the deadline? I don't think so, right?
No, of course not. Yeah.
You're not. So I think that's
what we try to avoid, right? We're trying to avoid us thinking about work, because when you have a deadline, of course you can't rest if the deadline is like now, right?
Yeah.
But and that's too late, right? But maybe you can not make that happen again. Make sure that you have time to rest so that you'll be more effective. Ang problema sa ubang tao yun is, and I'm guilty of this sometimes. You don't act until it's the last minute, right?
Yeah.
The looming deadline phenomenon, and sometimes, especially for creative types, like sometimes like the problem with creative things is you can't summon a good idea. I mean, you can brainstorm, you can think about it, you can
list them all down.
yeah, list them all down, but sometimes like it's all like bad ideas, right? And sometimes it's difficult to come up with a bad idea, a good idea, and sometimes it's when you're close to the deadline that the good idea comes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think people are more effective also when the deadline is coming,
Yeah,
right?
like when the procrastination happens.
Na to'y productivity study ba nga ga murag gistudyuhan nila nga, if let's just say you're given, let's say, a month to accomplish something, then it's going to take a month to accomplish something.
Yeah.
But if you're given a week to accomplish something, then you can accomplish it in a week, right?
Yeah, yes.
So because I think the only thing that's constant there is the deadline. that there is a deadline. So if it's a shorter or a longer deadline, it doesn't matter. You're going to finish it because you're only most productive in the last few days leading up to the deadline, right?
Yeah.
So mo na mo procrastinate ng uban because they're not there's no pressure ba. So sometimes actually if you think about it, some people actually work better with pressure. Right?
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, I see it. So like with the pressure in mind though, I know lots of friends who say that they actually they mentioned to me that the reason why they don't like having it like the time management, it's because they easily get distracted, especially when they have that productivity
Okay.
of their mind. That's why most of them like a lot of them prefer the procrastination method and like the last minute methods because that's where in their expertise where they know that they can be the best. They can come up with the idea the fastest. But I think what they don't know is that they're sacrificing the quality of that work. It's because it's unfinished, it's on very limited time. That sure, everything's there, the idea is there, the execution is there, but they never got to like really stop and think, but was the quality of the execution good?
Yeah, we don't know. So
Yeah.
but again, like I said, some people work better with a like a deadline, right? Some people don't, right? So and is it quality work? Is it not quality work? I guess depende sa nasi mong naandan, right? If you're so used to working a certain way, then
Should you change or?
so you're gonna be doing it in that way because it has rewarded you. Kaya anim gani mga tao good, like most people act or behave with incentives ba,
Okay.
like this behavior is being incentivized. You get a reward if you do this, and unknowingly that's how we behave as human beings, right? We don't want to get spanked, because that's bad, bad boy Raj.
Yeah.
And we want to get adulation and praise and commendation, right? So I guess that has worked for them, working that way, right? But if their objective is to relax your mind, is to not stress your mind so much, then I guess they have to change that process, right?
And be more productive.
And be more deliberate about the process of getting to a certain goal. Na kay padungan ba? Nga imong pagpadung dito dili stressful, right?
With more discipline also.
Yeah, more discipline kay sometimes kaning kung moak lang ka sa imong trabaho kung padula sa deadline, stressful mo sana, di ba? Right?
Yeah,
right.
very, yeah.
And so I think what I'm trying to drive at here, Raj, is nga pwede ka mo detach sa imong work within the work day itself, right? To be more productive and not have to think about it only on the last minute, right? So, sometimes you remove yourself from the computer, and then maybe you go out there and go outside the office for like 30 minutes and come back to it. I think we forget about that. We're talking about rest, like vacations, like a week's vacation, but we also forget about vacations of the mind for 30 minutes, right? I think that's also an important tool, right? What do you think?
yeah.
What do you think, man?
Yeah, so I actually totally agree with that. That's actually something that I do when I'm doing
like
when I'm in school.
a 30-minute vacation.
Yeah, 30 for yeah, but like as my mom being my supervisor,
Okay.
and 30 minutes is gonna be that's gonna be like 1 year.
Way
for her.
too long?
1 year for her. So I remember like in our school we have this study guides, they're around 30 pages each, and we have to study them for the test, And then I think for me, like around reading about 15 pages of nothing but just the study guides, and then being able to step out of the room, walk around 10 minutes. It's like I agree with you. It's like it gives you like a fresh mind to keep on learning what the subject that you're learning on. So and it just makes you keep going.
Yeah.
That I think that's what makes the people who have good productivity. That's what not only has like good quality in work, but also good time management as well.
Yeah. In case you're wondering kung sa among gisgutan, this is Jiggy Juice and right across me is Raj. Among gisgutan kanang buntaga sa atong mag-anisay ta Sugbo is how do you detach yourself from work? Kung saan man nimo pagpahuway sa imong utok nga makapahuway sa din taon siya dili maghunahuna, sige gunahuna na lang og trabaho, sige na lang gunahuna og eskwelahan. Kung saan man yung makapangita kag paagi nga makapahuway ka. Si Titit. Good morning. Tit are looking into you, bro. More power TMC, Megan and Titit. May buntag na mo diya, Megan and Titit. Tabangin mi
Good morning.
Tabangin mi diri ni Raj B Titit B. Unsaon man namo pagpahuway sa mong mga utok nga sige ra mi hunahuna sa mong panrabaho sa mong pag-eskwela wa may ginahunang lain.
Please do send. We really need it.
Text us
please.
0999-8876-070. I think one of the ways also to relax is actually okay kana magong utok like we were talking about, right? Nga murag na siya dili na siya muundang og hunahuna, di ba? Murag like I said earlier nga di man ta makakontrol sa tong utok yun.
Oh yeah.
But what we can do is we can put it in an environment nga ma-distract siya. For example, kana mo tanaw kag sine.
Okay.
You go watch a movie, right?
Yes.
Kaning especially if you're ready ka masanog sine, especially if you really suspend reality ba. Because that's what movies are, right?
Yeah.
You're like a suspension of reality for an hour or two, and you go out there and immerse yourself into the movie. Malimtan siguro na imo ang problema kariyot, oy, di ba?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
You'll be able to detach yourself.
Yeah,
from that.
yeah.
Because nothing. You'll think nothing of but just the story of the movie.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, you get. Yeah, that's.
And
that's a good enough.
you know one of my favorite pastimes is go to a Japanese restaurant and let the wasabi detonate in my head.
May I ask what is your favorite Japanese restaurant?
Mawagtang yun ang problema ni mo sa wasabi, oy. Even for just a few seconds, man. Like I get my sashimi, and then I get my wasabi, and I get extra wasabi. When I put it in my mouth, horot problema, oy. Just for a few seconds, and then the problem comes back. So magadagan ang wasabi, magataas-taas ang kawagtang sa problema. Pero this is the wasabi solution is not sustainable.
Yeah.
I realized there can't be enough wasabi in the world that I will eat nga mawagtang akong problema totally. Then I'll just have to bring wasabi every time.
Every time.
What are you doing with wasabi, Jay? No, I just want my problems to
Want to
disappear.
detach away. Yeah. But may I ask what's your favorite Japanese restaurant?
Well, we have a go-to Japanese restaurant. It's called Nunki, and that's where we go. If all else fails, if we don't know where to go, we go to Nunki.
Nonki, wow.
That's. How about you? Do you have a favorite Jap
I
restaurant?
actually have never been to Nonki.
Really?
Is it good? Is it good there?
What do you mean? Is it good there?
Yeah,
of course it is.
I think. Well,
Where'd you go to Japanese restaurant?
My top two right now is Rai Rai Ken.
Okay.
Rai Rai Ken.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because-
That used to be my favorite
Yeah.
Japanese restaurant
And
because
then-
that was one of the first Japanese restaurants that
Yeah.
opened here in town. Aside from, I think there was one called Mikado, but the Rai Rai Ken is actually a Manila brand. Yes. And what's your second?
My second one is we just new here in Cebu. It's called Marugame.
Oh, where's this?
Marugame
Where's this?
You can find it in SM City Cebu.
Okay.
In the second floor or second floor, upper ground floor.
Okay.
Right beside Max Chicken.
Wow.
And it's
And
yeah. So like it's just like a place where it's like what you mentioned is a good way to detach yourself because you're eating and then although I don't eat wasabi, so while I'm eating I'm thinking of the upcoming deadlines. But hey, it's a good way to like. It's like the 30 minutes. It's good to just relax a little bit and detach a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and also my other favorite Japanese restaurant is Tongara Ramen. I also love Tongara Ramen.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love their.
Where is this?
The ramen. They have many branches. They have. Oh my God! I think somebody bit me. Something bit me at the back, like that small ant. Oh jeez. Anyway, they have like a branch in Iscario Central. I think that's their first branch, if I'm not mistaken. They also have a branch here, actually.
Wow. All
In
right.
TMC, Tongara Ramen. Love that, especially if it's a cold day like this today.
Ooh.
Nice to
Feeling
have ramen
cozy,
in
yeah.
a rainy day. So yeah, actually, food is another way.
Yeah, good way to detach yourself.
Detach yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like so immersed into the food, and I think that's also the problem with us. Dili ta kay ba mukaon? We don't know how to be present when we're eating. right?
Okay.
Especially if you have like a deadline, like you said,
Oh,
or
yeah.
naka-examine o kaugma,
Yeah.
o niya, you're eating, magdaldali ka kaon, di ba?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're guilty of that, I'm
yeah,
sure, right?
I'm very guilty of that.
So naitabuan na is your body is not digesting the food well. If something might happen, you probably get like a
Diarrhea or
whatever,
like
right?
indigestion, yeah.
Whatever, indigestion, whatnot, right? At the same time, kaning I actually am guilty of eating really quick. But sometimes when I see, this is what I mean. Rest is really your superpower skill because kung kuwang gagatog ni mo kaon ka, di mo ka makanahon na ginana good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't
Yeah.
think about stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because those are like very very from the it's not one of the thoughts that just on the top of your head, right? But if you have enough sleep, then you will understand how important being deliberate when you eat is. That you have to be present and try to taste every single flavor and smell every single scent
Ooh.
and feel every single texture of whatever it is that you're putting in your mouth, right? And you're supposed to like munch it. You're supposed to grind your food in your mouth a certain number of times before you actually swallow it. And you see, like it's a whole entire process that
Yes.
I just described to you, right?
Yeah.
And if kung gadali ka
Yeah.
or kung kuwang kagatog, there's just no way on earth you're able to think about it like that, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like just I remember when it was lunchtime in the middle of midterms,
Okay.
and then we had dim sum break in
Yeah,
the cafeteria.
yeah.
All of it was laid out, and we had like 1 hour of lunch, and then I just wanted to get that. So 5 minutes of eating,
Oh my god.
and then the rest 55 minutes just to study
Yeah.
for the next
Yeah.
test. I remember I was able, I don't know steam fried rice.
yeah, I love
Sana,
steamed fried rice. Yeah.
Was
Steamed,
able to-
steamed rice, we call it here.
Yeah, I was able to finish that in like 5 bites.
See, that's the thing, man, and I think the schools have to teach the children how to eat and be present too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember, this was me like 20, 30 years ago when I was a kid. I remember telling my mom, and my mom reminded me this not too long ago. She told me, "Dong, kinumdum kasi imong gisulti atong una dong." This is how my mom calls me. He calls me Dodong. Kinumdum kasi imong gisulti atong una dong nga, kaning eating is such a waste of time. What? Eating is such a waste of time, and I wish there was a pill that I can just swallow so that I don't have to eat.
Ooh.
I actually told my mom that a long time
Wow.
ago. I'm not that person anymore.
So when did you fully realize that eating is this, like the process that you said it?
No, the whole process that I just told you, I probably do that like once or twice a week. And the other meals, I'm still like always not present, always not thinking about what I'm eating, because see, to me, my good eating is I'm actually let me correct myself. A part of me is still that boy who thinks that eating is a waste of time. And that I'd rather swallow a pill than eat. But for me, Mangod, one of the joys of eating is not in the food that you're eating. It is in the conversations that you're having while you're eating. So for
I
me,
agree with that.
eating is like a social event. It's not just nourishing yourself, right? For me, like, what's the point in eating? That's why I always wait for my kids to arrive, and we're just gonna eat. And I don't even care if we talk about anything.
Yeah.
Just hey, how you doing? Like, what's going on, man? Like, that ramen sucks, or that ramen is good.
Yeah.
Oh, what did you make, Dad? What is that? Like, can you hand me the soup? Even just mundane conversations like that is what eating is all about, and that's just me. But I forget that part of eating is also enjoying the taste, the flavors, right? And it's not just about nourishing yourself. It's also about smelling the spice. Ako ba boring ko ba mo kaon ko restaurant ba? I always order the same thing. Like I don't experiment. You know what I mean? Like if it's this restaurant, my son knows what I don't even have to say it.
Yeah.
Like,
my dad likes this, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So, but I tell my kids, order whatever you want,
Ooh.
so I can taste it, right?
Okay,
but I'm boring when I'm. So when I'm alone in a restaurant, you know that I'll be having this and I'll having that. So anyway,
It's exactly me with every Filipino restaurant. You just get sinigang na baboy.
Really now?
Yeah.
So that's your go-to food?
That's my go-to food for
Oh.
any Filipino cuisine restaurant.
wow, I also actually love sinigang na
Yeah.
baboy. I love the sourness of the sampalok, right?
Yeah, if there's anything that detaches me, that's food.
Yeah.
I go to any Filipino cuisine restaurant. If I see sinigang na baboy,
Oh.
that's the only thing I'm getting.
but I also like mungus. I like mungus.
oh, mungus,
Yeah,
like the
so-
beans.
Yeah, the beans.
Ah,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
I also love that. Anyway, ganun abot mo tagpagkaon because we're talking about how to distract and detach and to how to rest our minds from thinking about work and school, especially now that it's a high stress month. It's the holidays are actually a high stress, right? If you think about it. In fact, a lot of heart attacks happen during the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
From what I read,
Cholesterol.
yeah. Aside from that, it's really just the stress levels because
I see.
traffic is bad and
Yeah.
it's at its worst. There's so many long lines and you have to wait and you have to you have to be here and be there and
Lots
do
of
this,
people,
do that, and and not to mention the food.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're like I oversaw. And I glimpsed upon a post earlier from my good friend Carl. He said, "This is not good anymore, man. I'm eating like lechon 5 days in a row.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah. Actually, I remember seeing an article about that where there was actually a man who there's a good amount of people who passed away due to eating so much lechon.
Okay.
During the because of how much fat there was. Yeah. So yeah, I think that food. Yeah, you can detach yourself from it, but even during the holidays, you're also pressured from
But
whatever.
see, that's actually very dangerous. Kuya okay na siya sa tanan kay, you could also emotionally eat, right?
Mhm.
There are people who are emotional eaters, right? Like they like eating is their like security blanket. I don't know how you say that. Kana bitaw ang mga tao nga kung ma-stress mga mukaon.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, stress eating. Yeah.
Yeah, stress eating because it does exactly what it does and it distracts yourself from the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's dangerous too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have to be careful when you detach yourself and remove yourself and you rest your mind from thinking about the thing through eating, because if that's the case, I'm just gonna eat and eat and eat.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Exactly the same way with how it's like worldly known that when you break up, the first thing that you eat is a tub of ice cream. Just to distract yourself, detach yourself
Samog ka.
from that either love or work or school.
Kanag yung ice cream by that's really my I was telling Justine this, and I'm really like a sugar addict in denial.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like just yesterday we bought like a mint chocolate ice cream from
that sounds
from
good.
Tillamook, right?
That sounds good.
Really, really good, man.
Ooh, that
Oh
sounds
my
good.
god, man! And I didn't get a cup and put ice cream in the cup. I just ate from the tub, right? And it's like a big ass tub, right?
Yeah.
And my daughter said, "Dad, you're gonna end up finishing that. Go get yourself a cup,
Yeah.
and then put that in the ref, right?"
Yeah.
And that's what I did because like I'm really when I have like sugar in front of me,
Mhm.
like I can't stop eating. Man, it's so damn good, and especially if there's a good conversation in front of
Oh
me,
yeah.
or there's like a Lakers game, like a basketball game right in front of me.
That tub is finished.
It's done, man. It's considered
Tub is finished.
hurot na gid ba?
Yeah.
Grabe good. So I think sugar is very dangerous. I think.
Yeah,
I think-
sugar is.
and I think it's also bad for your mind, right? Because di ba kanang sugar crash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have sugar and you feel like, because you feel alive for a moment, right? And then there's like the sugar crash, right?
Yeah, and then you start feel
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's important. I think diet is very important in the equation, right? Aside from rest, diet and exercise, right? And your ability to be able to control your mind, right? And be
Yeah.
able to rest and
Oh,
power.
yeah.
Because I think like sakto gid. It's just kind of counterintuitive ba nga. Kanang pahuway is actually a requisite for you to pahuway correctly.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Do you understand? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Yeah. To have enough rest is a way for you to be able to tame your mind, so you can actually get a real break from whatever it is that ails you,
Yeah.
from whatever it is that's distracting you,
Oh, yeah,
from
I
whatever it is that you can't stop thinking about. Because kung kuwang ka og pahuway, ang imong huna-huna dili ka makakontrol, right? So dili ka makapahuway or dili ka makadetach sa imong kaugalingon, so that makapahuway ka og huna-huna anang butanga, eskwelahan, trabaho, love life, whatever, right? How about you guys? What are your quick and dirty tips? Unsaon man ninyo nga makapahuway niyong utok nga, for example, somebody breaks your heart, right?
No.
Oh no.
Is there another substitution to just eating a tub of ice cream?
Yes, please, because
Please let us know.
That's a dangerous. You can just emotionally eat. Let us know.
105.1 Thompson Media Center, broadcasting from over 2,000 feet closer to heaven at Tops. 105.1 TMC. Finally,
What the frick?
it's found the home. 105.1 TMC, the best of us.
Yeah.
Ay padaw sa imong emosyon, ikaw ray pasyon. That one is a felony, and on and on. It is now exactly 11 o'clock. We have an hour to go before we end our show.
Of course, this is Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And I'm Raj Sangabi.
And we have an answer here, another input from our listeners on YouTube at Tops Media Center. Ang atong mag-anisay tasugbo is, of course, unsaon man nimo pag-detach sa imuhang kaugalingon sa mga problema nimo sa imong sa trabaho, sa eskwelahan. How do you rest? Unsaon nimo pagpahuway? According to AGMI team, para ma-detach sa problema, simple na kuno, just be in love.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Sana all.
Sana all good. That's actually an probably.
Sana all.
Yeah, lagi mo. That's what she said. I think.
Sana all.
Lagi. How do you call this? That's probably one of the reasons why people get into relationships in the first place, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I really feel like some people are like that. Because nasa problema, because they can't stop thinking about something. They just be in love, because I think in love, my God, is such a captivating emotion. It's
very strong force.
Like in golfing, kaya siya tanan ba, bro? It takes over your entire being, but so if you want to stop thinking about this thing, then you gotta be in love, right?
Yeah.
But the danger there is the distraction might become the distraction too, because that's not all you're going to do with your life, right?
Yeah.
It's not like your being in love is your full-time job, right? With at least intimately in love with another person is not a full-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not also sustainable, right? So if
It's only temporary.
if that, well, some people have long-lasting relationships, right? But still, that's not the only thing that you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have to make a living too, right?
Yeah.
And you have to feed your loved ones, right?
Yeah.
And otherwise, either they're gonna leave you or they're gonna die because you're not feeding them.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
So
what you
akong pasabot ani is, that's right. I mean, that's a good way to distract yourself. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
if you just broke up with somebody and you have a broken heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? And maybe let time pass and all of that stuff, and another falling in love with somebody else is another way to completely detach yourself
Mm-hmm.
from that other person, right? Because you're now in this other relationship, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's another way to stop your breaking heart or broken heart. But the problem with that is the thing that you're distracting yourself from. If the thing that you're distracting yourself from is also the distraction, then it becomes another problem in and of itself, right?
Yeah. Actually, it got me thinking.
Funny thinking about it. Yeah.
I have some. Sorry. I'd like to actually ask you.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's say.
Ask me, sir.
So let's say this one person broke up with this other person.
Okay.
And then they're heartbroken.
Okay.
And then
Lame kayo.
and
Okay.
they want to move on, and their one way that they know how to move on is to automatically get into another one.
Okay.
Be with another. Oh no! Be with another person.
Okay.
So, do you think that it's good only as a temporary fix, or for a long time fix to be detached/distracted?
I don't. Can you repeat the question, please?
So
So the question is.
Do you think automatically going to a new relationship is a good way to detach/distract yourself only temporarily, or for the long term?
From what? Distract you from what?
Distract you either
From the previous relationship?
from the previous relationship, or let's say, I don't know, from work as well.
Okay. So what do you mean, like, to distract yourself from thinking about the work that you don't like anymore? You can go get another job. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Or
something like
to
that.
distract yourself from the broken heart that you have from this person, you go get another girlfriend or boyfriend?
So
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Do you think that's only a fix that's temporary, or can it be in the long term?
A long-term fix. I don't know if there's a long-term fix for anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like, depends on what's broken, I guess, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
because like this is the way. This is just my understanding and from what I've read. Okay, about the human mind, right?
Okay.
Like, the more progressive the world becomes, the more minuscule
The way we see
the
it.
problems
Problems. Okay.
are that are considered big. Let me put that in another way. You've heard of first world problems, right?
Yes, yes.
You know, my chopper has no fuel. I hate it. You know, I wish I would die. You know,
Oh, no.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
ang mga problema sa tao, magka maayo gay ang kinabuhi, magagamay sad. Ang pasabot kong magagamay is nga katong atong una nga dili na problema, problema na karon, dako na ng problema.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for example, kita atong una, tindud-anay magyud na nga kuwang atong pagkaon because we had to raise food, right? You have to grow food, right?
Okay.
Ourselves, right?
Okay.
Or from our neighbors have to grow food for us to be able to eat. Now with the advent with the invention of shipping and transportation, airplanes and all of
Okay,
that stuff,
okay, okay.
we can easily import and export stuff, right? So we're not gonna die of lack of rice because we can easily export or import rice, right? So ang atong problema na ron is we have too much of that. We even have a abundance problem. We don't have a scarcity problem. It's ang problema na karon is we have a problem with allocating the resources.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's more people now who are overweight than underweight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So akong pasabot na kanang imong gihisgot nga permanent fix. I don't think that exists because we human beings were always going to look for problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for
okay.
example, you're in a great relationship and all that stuff. You're gonna figure out a way how to mess that up in one way or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get
I'm not saying you're gonna break up with a person or look for another one. But what I'm saying is, mangita na sa kaglaing problema. Like like, hey, why don't we buy a big house? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like our 10-bedroom house is too small for us. Like
Oof.
we need like a 20-bedroom house. Maybe. So mangita gitag problema, but that's just the nature of our minds.
Yeah.
So kanang gihisgot imo nga permanent things. I don't think that exists. Right? Right? What's a permanent fix? And besides, there are no permanent problems too, right? Like problems will always change every now and then, right? Like in fact, there are some problems that are no longer problems.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So if you believe that there's no, let's say, if you think that there is no
Permanent fix?
permanent fix. Oh wow.
There is no. I think to be honest with you, I don't want to say this. This is very controversial, but I think death is the permanent fix.
Oh no, I laughed, guys.
Yeah, and but nobody wants to do that, right? Yeah.
Okay. I see. So do you believe that everything that is what's considered to be fixed only temporary?
Do I believe that everything that
It's considered a fix. For example, like a broken shoe that's fixed with super glue. That's just a temporary
absolutely,
fix.
man, absolutely. In fact, there's only two ways that can go because I've done that many times. Fix my shoe. There's only two ways that'll go. You either
Keep on fixing it,
or just throw the
buy-
damn shoe.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. There's only two ways for that. And you have another problem with a new pair of shoes because now you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Now you have to pay. Look for stuff that'll look good on that pair of shoe. Now you have to have the right socks. Now it's a whole entire.
I see.
So
And there's also
every solution attracts with it another set of problems. I think this is a very good lesson for all of us, and I think this is a reminder to myself and also to you and everyone listening. Every solution to a problem attracts itself another set of problems. The problems just goes on and on and on. That song from Felony is so true. Just goes on and on. Padayon, yeah. That's how the world works. Padayon.
Padayon.
Mornings just got more real. Real local talk.
You're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice. Right across me is
Connection sa controversial. Patay on.
Response Colleges Incorporated, Cabrera Street, Pasag San Nicolas, Cebu City. Gusto ka bang mag-nursing o nurse or nursing graduate na gusto mo apply locally o abroad or nakita na mag-pinakabalato? Faculty of Nursing School na aprobado sa CHED sa Cebu. Enroll tayo sa Bachelor of Science in Nursing sa Racewood Colleges Incorporated College of Nursing. Watag silang free promo rate sa first 100 na magpa-enroll sa nursing. Tawag na yun sa 0956-926-4112 or 0968-861-9933. Huwag palita lang si Dr. Rizalin or Dr. Tawag sa 032-383-8241 or 0961-146-7836. Wala na po tayo website, listwoodscabelos@gmail.com o kaya sa atong Facebook page, Listwoods Colleges Incorporated. Listwoods Colleges Incorporated, College of Nursing, the School of Conscience, Love, and Compassion.
Okay, atong isigutan karong buntaga sa atong mag-anisay ta Sugbo sa top of the morning is mag-anisay ta Sugbo, how do you distract yourself? How do you detach yourself? How do you rest your mind from the things you're thinking about? Kung saan man mo pagpahuway, okay, from thinking about work or from school. Let us know your thoughts. Text 0999-887-6070. Pwede sa mo sa YouTube. Palihog lang ato mi bisita kami sa Tops Media Center on YouTube and join our conversations ato mag-anisay ta Sugbo. How do you detach yourself from work or from school? Let us know.
Ang sakit sa lutahan, kanunay na usa ang palasanon, ima-ilahan ka na sa Facebook. Join deterioration sa ngaran kung magkaisa ka sa kilahan kini o kusog kung paglahutay aron makaguli mahimo ka na ni Adricin. May alternator type 2 collagen at metal sulfonyl methane na makatapat sa pagpadalikod sa hinipusan. Sa atong lutahan,
Thank you, tall brother.
Adricin, adlaw-adlaw. Papalit ang Adricin sa mga nagulang butika sa nasod. Importante ka pahinulong ang Adricin tilo sa katapan o ili at ay kabilog sa mantampan sa bisan usap matang sa sakit.
Welcome the new year on top of everybody at Cebu's most iconic landmark, Tops. Together, let's count down to 2025 at the best place to be. Join us at our grand countdown gala at the Tops event space with dinner and entertainment, plus exclusive access to the Sky 360 true 360-degree view and get the best view.
Hi guys, welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice, and that guy over there. Hello everyone, I am Andre Santiago.
Ang atong isgutan karong buntaga sa atong mag-anisay. New Year Countdown is brought to you by Tops on the Melia Villa Hotel and 105.1 TMC, the best of us.
Is say mo ba? Lain hoy agta ang katang natukar.
sponsors po.
Sino pinagpupunta na? Mami joke at Costa. One oh five. 105.1. I'm gonna be on the 105. 105.1. It's weird. 1, 2, 3. How come my microphone's not working? Is it working or not?
Try again.
I can't hear myself. Hold on, give me a second.
I can hear you in this.
Really, you can?
Yeah, I can.
But how come I can't hear myself? This is so weird. 1, 2, 3.
Anyway, how about I use another?
Okay.
5.1 Tops Media Center Broadcasting. 2000.
Okay, back.
Tops 105.1 TMC.
1 TMC, ang pinakasugbuanon nga radio station sa tibuok kalibutan. 105.1 TMC. You're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And I'm Raj Sangabi.
Ang ato ang mag-anisay ta sugbo karong buntaga is how do you distract yourself? How do you detach yourself? Unsaon man nimo pagpahuway nga makaundang ka og hunahuna sa trabaho, sa eskwela, or whatever it is that ails you, that distracts you, and that is stressing you out. In other words, more na siya it's phrased in another way. How do you have a vacation? How do you relax? Right? Mo ginang ultimately what the question is. Pero na ang pangutana ni ba that we forgot to ask, or the thing that it supposes, it assumes is kung ganahan ka mo detach sa usa ka butang, pasabot na it's unpleasant, di ba?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's unpleasant.
Can you-
Dili ka ganahan.
Okay.
Like it's why would you want to detach? Why would you want to remove yourself from a situation nga nindot?
Oh,
Diba?
yeah.
Diba?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, ngano man, ngano ganahan ka mahawa diya. Nalingaw ninong ka, ngano mahawa man ka, right? So I guess that is the presupposition nga dili ka ganahan sa butang nga imong palayuan.
Okay.
Imuhang pahuwayan, imuhang i-remove yourself from the situation. So maybe this is just a maybe. Kung ganahan ka sa butang, dili na kakinanglan mo pahuway. Di na kaganahan mo detach sa imong kagalingon if it's not unpleasant, right? So maybe what you can do is to try to love that thing that you are doing, right?
Yeah.
So it becomes a good experience. It becomes a relaxing. It becomes not a stressful situation, right?
Yeah.
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 Right?
Yeah. So actually, that actually reminds me of this one quote that's from a good speaker. His name is David Bednar.
Okay, what did
David
he
A.
say?
Bednar, and then
What
he
did he
said
say?
the reason why lots of us people procrastinate or like not feeling very productive is because we should learn to love learning.
Okay.
We should learn to love learning this,
Yeah.
and even if we don't like it, we should learn to love it because so that to us it just it feels like second nature, like what you mentioned earlier, or something that that if like when we dispatch from it, like when we learn to love it, it feels like something that we like to do. So yeah, I think that.
Yeah, and but I think we talked about this earlier. Even though if it's something that you love, like what I'm doing now, this is exactly what I was dreaming about doing when I was in high school, and I'm doing it, and it still does become stressful, because it becomes like work, you know what I mean, and although most of the time it's not stressful, there are times it becomes stressful. So even though if it's the thing that you love, you still need to take a break from it, right?
Yeah.
I think, Mangod, again, we talked about this earlier, and I want to talk about this again. Even the mere going to the CR, for example, which I just did, right?
Yeah.
Like moments ago. Even when I'm in a meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like in a stressful meeting, or I'm in a high intensity meeting, right?
All right.
When I go to the CR, and when I finally zip my fly and take a pee, some of the best ideas come out, like in my head.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know what that is, man. Like what?
Yeah.
What did that think of that? There?
Yeah.
So it's just funny for me.
Yeah.
And so because it is the break, Mangod, from the monotony of the thing that you're doing that allows space for you to think about the thing, to create another thing outside of that boardroom, for example, right?
Oh, yeah.
Outside of that office, outside of that classroom.
Yes.
When you go out of it. So I think that's what detaching, taking a break is for.
Oh.
Right? Right?
I actually completely agree.
Yeah.
So back in school, when back in Ateneo, I was known as the person who was good at editing videos, and
Okay.
this is something I really like to do.
Okay, okay.
I get to fully immerse myself with
Wow. What app? But what software do you use? your favorite?
something on the phone. It's called KineMaster.
What's that again?
KineMaster.
KineMaster.
That's
Okay.
it. Some
okay.
people call it KineMaster.
Okay.
And then so I love editing. You know,
Okay,
it's
okay.
I really find fun in it. But like there are also times where it becomes stressful and it looks like work now.
Okay.
And then like I remembered where I asked my group leader if I cannot be the video editor for this group project.
Okay.
Because I wanted to take a break from it. And then so I was just assigned the job as researcher.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what sucks is when you're researching for topics, that just for me that's when all of a sudden when I see the topics, I see the video in my mind and how I want it to go.
Mhm.
Everything's okay. This is how I want the intro to go. This is how I want the research to take in place. This is how I want it to pop up. I want the music like this.
Mhm.
And then it just frustrates me because now I'm not the video editor. I'm not the video editor anymore. I'm the researcher.
Okay.
So I have to text my group leader. Can I be the video editor again? So
Okay.
I can just satisfy all of the ideas that popped into my head when I was
Yeah.
a researcher.
Yeah.
So yeah, I completely agree.
So when you remove yourself from the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have like something just comes up.
Yeah, all of the ideas just
Yeah.
rush in.
Yeah. And so muna siyang there's actually a story behind the advantages of multitasking.
Yeah. Okay.
The advantage kind of multitasking is sometimes when you're working on something and then you hit a wall, you're no longer able to create any new ideas, new thoughts. You can't find solutions. If you work on another thing, you distract yourself from that work and the work on another thing. It's possible that you can come up with, because you're working on something that's totally completely different. You're multitasking.
Okay.
You're able to think about other ideas about the thing because you're no longer thinking about the thing.
Oh,
So
yeah, okay.
That is actually the
Advantages
now of
multitasking.
multitasking. So again, it's about the break, lang yun, diba? It's really
about
about
the break.
the break, and I think that's why breaks important. According to according to Google Drive More Space, I'm pretty sure family time can distract you from work and school. Yeah, that's true.
Family time.
It does happen. In fact, like the family is like your oasis, right? You feel like that's a place that you can relax. But sometimes the stress comes from the family. Right? Also, diba?
Yeah.
So it's the family that's pushing you to succeed in school, to excel in school. What are you doing there, you lazy bum? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what happens is that what do you do when that's the situation, right?
Yeah, so it's just like what you mentioned earlier, a fix which then adds more problems. Yeah. I totally see it. So like when you're trying to detach yourself
Okay.
from school,
Okay.
and then all of a sudden, so did you do your homework yet?
No. Can I say no? Yeah. In case you're wondering unsa among hisgutan kanang buntaga, mga kaigalan atong hisgutan sa anisay ta Sugbo is how do you detach yourself from work? How do you take a break? How do you rest from school, from work? Let us know. By the way, I'd like to say good morning to my dear friend, to Zandro, my good friend Zandro, who just arrived from. Let me just read his message. Zandro, Mr. Fajardo Zandro, who just arrived from riding the motorcycle for 11 days.
Oh wow.
And traveling 2,400 kilometers using his bike from Manila down to Siargao, Cagayan de Oro,
wow.
Dapitan, Dumaguete. Now he's in Cebu.
That's great.
Wow. And perhaps we can talk to him tomorrow if he has time. Maybe he can drop by, right?
That's good.
That's another way of distracting yourself. Riding a bike, right?
Riding a bike.
Right? Because I think, Manggod, other activities that require your full undivided attention is a good way to distract yourself, right? That's why
riding a bike is you're trying not to die, right?
Yeah.
Aside from that, when you arrive at the destination, it's beautiful, and you distract yourself, right? So yeah, I think riding a bike is another way for you to be able to distract yourself and remove yourself, because you're physically going away from this point to another point, another place, right? So it's a new environment, it's a new place, new way of looking at the world, kind of thing.
Speaking about riding a bike, that's actually one of the things that that I used to detach myself from schoolworks. So like I said, I was homeschooled, and then we would answer these modules, and then what I would do is, like, after 10 pages of answering, I would just take like a 5-minute bike ride around the subdivision.
Okay.
And then I remember this one time where my mom asked if I was finished with my modules.
Okay.
I said not yet, but I'm gonna go ride my bike first. And then I was like, just what? Why didn't you finish it? You have like 15 pages left. I was like,
Okay.
this break's important to me, Mom.
Yeah,
This break. So I went to go ride at my bike. As soon as I went downhill, that's when karma hit me, and then I fell forward because I was about to hit this oncoming motorcycle from the guard.
Okay.
So I tipped forward, and then I gashed out my knee.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then so adrenaline was pumping. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I slowly walked back, and
So a solution became the problem.
yeah. But I guess you could say, because of the gash, I did detach myself from school.
Exactly. That's what people do sometimes. They cut themselves so they can detach themselves, remove themselves from the problem, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like distracting yourself from one pain to another, right? So that's like a not a pleasant way to to detach yourself from where you are.
With the gash
Yeah.
knee, yeah.
In case you're wondering what is going on, we're talking about how to detach yourself. Unsaon man yung pagpahuway? How do you have a break? How do you take a vacation from work, from school, from whatever it is that's stressing you out? We're trying to get all of your input as much as we can. According to Google Drive, more space. You can pray.
You can pray, yeah.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, the prayer is also good. Actually, there are a lot of things you can do, and I think praying, leaning on a deity, a religion, a belief, is actually also very comforting, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it provides people with solace, and I think most of the time, of course, a belief in something is like something that resides in the mind, right? And it's very comforting. It's relaxing, right?
Yeah.
So that you can do that too.
Yeah, you can pray.
Yeah, that's another way of
It's
trying to distract yourself, right?
Yeah, being able to distract yourself. It's just like that one moment of peace.
Yeah.
Where no matter where you're praying, you just feel peace because you're in that you're talking to that one person that you believe in.
Yeah.
And then you feel peace, you feel love, and I think that's a good way to detach yourself. Thank you so much.
But the problem there is, once you remove yourself from the place, and
back.
the prayer is already been said, right? And you put yourself in the physical situation again where the stress is. 99% of the time it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the wasabi.
So yeah, so you can stay in the chapel forever and just hide from the world. I don't think that's gonna work, because they're gonna look for you in church, right, or in the chapel, or wherever it is, right?
Yeah.
So it is still a kind of temporary fix, right? So I think the mind, ang utok yun mo ba? It's really like most of the. I remember somebody once said, I think it was Charles Dickens who said that I'm an old man and I've seen many problems, but most of it never happened. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's really like all of the things that we fear, atong mga gikahadlukan, atong mga fears are just what they are, fears, but most of them actually will never happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course that's actually a survival mechanism, right?
Okay. Are we talking about fears like people who are scared of like killer clowns?
Yeah,
like that?
Fear, being afraid of something is a survival mechanism, because it'll allow us to not die, right? For example, if you're scared of the dark, the reason for I'm sure we talked about this before. Hadlok ko na tawag ngit-ngit kay before early our brothers and sisters from thousands of years ago, uh, uh, there were actual beasts who were out there to eat you and kill you, right?
Okay.
So when you don't see anything, when it's dark, uh, mas maina lang nga dili ka mo adto sa ngit-ngit kay chances are you're gonna get eaten by a bear or a tiger or a lion or one of those predators, right?
Yeah.
So we evolved fearing the dark because before, when there was darkness, especially outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
chances are there's something lurking there that'll eat you.
Yeah.
So ang akong ipasabot na is when you fear something, uh, some of that fear is actually no longer true because there's no longer bears and tigers hiding in the dark, right?
Mm.
Right?
Yeah. I remember there's this like one quote just to connect a little bit.
Okay.
It's where they said that for the people who are scared of the dark, like I think they misinterpret when they say I'm scared of being alone in the dark.
Okay.
But then there was another person who like elaborated, said we're not scared of being alone in the dark. We're scared if there is something in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's an evolutionary trait that we inherited from from our forefathers because there was actual things that would kill you in the dark.
Oh yeah.
And in fact, sometimes because there are no longer lions and tigers and predators lurking in the dark, the our forefathers will scare us with mumu, right? With witches and aswang and mga agta, di ba?
Mga manananggal.
Right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Hadlokon ta nila wala na may mga predators nga mangaon na to.
Yeah.
And that's still part of that evolutionary feature for us to survive, right?
Yeah.
Hadlok tag agta. Although there's actually no real agta behind that bush.
Yeah.
On 105.1 TMC, atong gisgutan sa atong mag-anisay ta Sugbo, how do you detach
yourself from work?
Ubo ng anak, nakababahala, problema. Para dyan, Blemex for Kids ang pambatubo. Ang Blemex for Kids ay gawa sa lagundi, tinutunaw at pinalalapas ang plema. Ginhawa para sa bata, peace of mind para kay mommy. Camille Francia Bangko, nag-Flex for Blemex. Mamis, agad ang ubo at lemang nakapara. Ang batang lagundi, Blemex!
Welcome the new year on top of everybody at Cebu's most iconic landmark, Tops. Together, let's count down to 2025 at the best place to be. Join us at our grand countdown gala at the Tops event space with dinner and entertainment, plus exclusive access to the Sky 360 True 360-degree view and get the best view of the entire Cebu's fireworks celebration. The Tops New Year Grand Countdown. Welcome 2025 at 2,000 feet closer to heaven. At Tops. The Tops New Year Countdown is brought to you by Tops on the Villa Hotel and 105.1 TMC. The best of us.
This is a Cebuano singer, bro.
Will Mikael.
Oh.
You know Will?
Yeah, I do.
He's from ano, diba? Isn't he from Springdale or something? What's up, girls? Boys, you know? Springdale? The boys are Springdale, right?
I'm not sure, but I thought he was Ateneo actually. Springdale.
Si Shoti mo yun. Ano yun?
Ah.
Let's just wrap it up after one more song. Let's just wrap it up. So yeah, let's just maybe like kind of summarize it and stuff. I don't know if Justin told you, but can you like give me a suggestion of like a top 10 things, top 10 topics you can suggest for the next 10 days?
Top 10 topics. Sige po.
Yeah.
I can send it to you.
Yeah. But the idea is to talk about stuff that the masses like to talk about, like a kind of viral story.
Okay.
That's why I always go to Reddit, because it's like something that people are talking about.
Sige po. Do you want it to be connected to something like Cebu and Bisaya, or it doesn't have to be?
No, not necessarily, but it's something that people are talking about.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be Cebu. Like, for example, Maris Racal and that whole mess with a bunch of actors, whatever, Love Life. It happened in Manila, but these are people from Manila, but everybody's talking about it in Cebu. So it doesn't have to be something happening in Cebu, but something that people are talking about in Cebu.
Okay, sige.
Or at least in the Visayas.
Sige.
And most likely it is something that's happening in Cebu, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
It could be a topic about Cebu.
Sige.
Basta kayo, ang importante is we get engagement.
Okay. Something that will get the live talk.
Maybe you can do that. And number one, number two, maybe you can do like top 10 Bisaya words.
Top 10 Bisaya words.
Yeah. Maybe you can do like 10 words.
See.
And so the format is like this. The top 10 105.1 TMC presents the top 10 Bisaya word of the day lang. Bisaya word of the day. Just do top 10.
See.
Just do 10. I mean, the Bisaya word of the day is this word, and then you describe the word and what it means, right? And then you use the word in a sentence.
Okay.
And it's in Google. Like,
Sige.
and then after the sentence, and then you have an extra. I'll let you record it in the studio. Okay. So that was the Bisaya word of the day. Tune in again tomorrow for the next Bisaya word of the day. 105.1 TMC.
Okay.
But you have to try to pronounce it correctly also, right?
Okay.
They will describe to you how to pronounce it, and sometimes they actually have the pronunciation.
Sige. We'll do.
Yeah. So top 10. I don't know, not top 10, but 10 topics.
Okay, 10
we
topics.
can talk about them. Sa atong Baganisay ta Subo.
And then 10 design words.
10 words, 10 design words of the day.
Zero.
One 105.1 TMC. It is now 11:59. That's it for us, Raj.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
It's been a blast, right?
Yes, sir.
What a very interesting topic, right?
Just want to say also thank you to everyone that was able to send their answers.
Yes, please.
To teach us how to
relax,
how
to
from
chill,
the outside, from the works and schools as well.
Yeah, how to chill.
Yeah,
chill, Raj.
Chill like the ice cream I'm about to eat later.
Oh, really now? Oh man. So yeah, I think more than anything else, I think it's really like a mind game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think relaxing, detaching is really like a mind trick, like a mind thing. So the more you're able to control your mind and the way you think about things, work, play, school, whatnot, the more you can be relaxed. Even if you're in the actual situation itself, even if you're at work, even if you're at school, if you're able to find a way to take a mind break while you're working. Close your eyes, like look at a different view. I think it was like an advice for those that are working in the office, like because your gaze is so narrow when you're looking at the computer, right? And I think one way to be able to detach yourself and remove yourself from the situation, and maybe relax your mind, your eyes, and more importantly, is to look at a panoramic view. And from that narrow view in the computer to a wide field, like a panoramic view, your mind is removed from that thing that you're working on, and that whole 5-minute, 10-minute break, looking at like a wider view, maybe come up here to the tops, right?
Yeah.
Take that break. When you go back to the thing that you're working on, you feel more relaxed. I don't know. There's so many tricks that you can do, but I think it all begins with the mind.
Yes.
And also, of course, with the entire vessel that carries the mind. It's called the body, right? Think of your brain as like something that's in your head, right? And think of then your entire body as the vessel that's carrying it, because your mind is not going to function well if your entire body ain't functioning well.
Yeah.
And the best way to
help the body, the vessels, to sleep.
The best way to break down the body is to not get some rest, right?
Get some rest, yes.
Yeah. And that's also the best way to break down the mind, is to break down your body. So mo na siya, importante yung kayong pahuway, rest, right?
Rest. We
So
need to rest,
find a
guys.
way to have rest, not real rest, like 8 hours a day of good sleep, rest. I know it's easier said than done, right? But there are ways to do that. Like I said, exercising early on during the day, maybe like at 5 p.m. And if your sleep time is like 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., sorry. So you can run like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon or evening, right? So you can exercise, you can try to meditate maybe. You can
You can pray, maybe.
Yeah, pray, yeah.
You can remove yourself from the physical situation where you are,
Yeah, you
where,
can
where the stress is occurring.
You can eat food, listen to music.
Yeah.
Those are types of ways to just rest.
Yeah, yeah.
Make sure you get
But
good
at
rest.
the end of the day, you need to rest.
You need to get that 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah. So number one, you don't have to detach yourself from the thing because it's no longer stressing you, right? And number two, if you do actually physically detach yourself from work and go on a vacation somewhere far, because you're well rested, you're able to enjoy your vacation. You're not going to spend your vacation just sleeping, although that's also a good idea. But it'd be nice to enjoy the vacation too.
Oh, yeah.
Dive somewhere or jump somewhere or whatever, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, going back to that sleep thing, I remember this thing, what that Ati Justine mentioned when she was still teaching back in Ateneo. She told us, like, guys, okay, you guys, you can handle the work, you can handle your schoolwork, no matter how much you wanted. But for me, good, I really need a good 8 hours of sleep. I don't to her that like studying, like, even though she can do the studying before, and she can do the review, she can do the studying like before class, but even though that she's like really tired and like she hasn't studied yet anything for the test for the following day, for her 8 hours of sleep is very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I agree with
man.
that. Yeah.
And like some people wear not being able to sleep and working overtime are very hard, like a badge of honor, right? They brandish that. I haven't had enough sleep. I only have one sleep a day, and they say that proudly sometimes, right?
Oh yeah.
But like,
it's not something to really boast about.
You're probably not doing effective work. You're probably working. You're probably showing up. You're probably punching in your daily time card, whatnot, right? But you're not doing good work.
It's not a good quality work.
Yeah, and I think I think the two most important things when productivity is involved is it's about speed, but it's also about accuracy, right? You want to be able to do things quickly, but also accurately.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And usually it's the accurateness that is sacrificed if you lack rest, because you just want to do it and finish it, right? And you don't have the wherewithal, you don't have the bandwidth to think about the minute details and minutia of accomplishing the thing that you want to do in the first place, right? Especially if it involves art, it involves something that's artistic, right?
That's why it's also like good advice for the people who procrastinate a lot. For the people who procrastinate, I know there are some people who are really good when they procrastinate. They have good outputs, but like I will say though, for the ones who are a bit struggling when they procrastinate, when you have that good amount of sleep, and then you add time management and you add productivity, you will have good quality work.
Absolutely. So you guys, it's always a work in progress. I mean, a good job is never done. So maybe we can continue on this conversation on the social media platforms. You can go look for us at Tops Media Center on Facebook. You can join us in our conversation in the page that we're going to be reposting this particular conversation that I'm having with Raj at Tops Media Center on YouTube. Or you can text us 0999-887-6070. Please press subscribe on our YouTube channels. That's Tops Media Center. Tops Media Center. Please share our conversation if you like it, and share it to your friends. Let everybody know about it, and let them join also the Tops Media Center. Daghang salamat, Google Drive, More Space, AGMI team, Janro, and the rest of the guys for joining us here.
We have Marcus over on top. Yeah.
At Tops
So much,
Media
Marcus.
Center. It is always a pleasure to know that you're out there watching us, listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And I am Raj Sangabi.
Finally, local music has found a home.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Melcher, it's your turn, bro.
Feeling stressed? You need a staycation? Take a break and visit Crown Regency Hotel and Towers.
Yeah, that is correct, sir. Take a break and go to Crown Regency. I could use that right now. really connected with our episodes. Yeah. See, if I will send you those 10 topics.
Yeah. 10 topics and the 10 Messiah words. And maybe you can have like a little bit of rationale why this topic might be a good topic to talk about. Okay, bro, I'll see ya. I'm also going over there. Okay, take care, bro.
Take care, bro. This year.
Chinese cuisine is indeed at the top of the game. New and improved authentic Chinese menus spearheaded by our Cantonese chef. We are open for dine-in and take-out, also accepting events. Temporarily located at 2nd floor Cafe Glow Tower 1, Crown Regency Hotel and Towers. For inquiries, contact 0947-283-4026 or 032-418-8888.
Balik dito, balik. Balik. Program na rin. Yan, nakita na ng program. Oo. Atong sekreto, laptop papi, okay na lang kung nakainom.